Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening racing fans and welcome back, or welcome to, if you are new here, to the NXTGEN Racing GT3's Season 9, hosted on Thursday nights here at NXTGEN Racing. Tonight we've got round 2 of this championship. We had round 1 last week, moving straight into round 2 tonight, which is also a sprint and feature race format racing, so plenty of close action to be had here. Let's introduce the series before we get kicked off with tonight's action. This is Season 9 of the GT3s, as we mentioned, all using traditional GT3 machinery. And let's give a shout out to NXTGEN Racing for putting on this fantastic league, which features more than 50 drivers. And of course, NXTGEN Racing couldn't do it without all the people behind the scenes and all of the partners, sponsors and affiliates that help put the show on here. And they include PowerMaxed, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design and Falconer PC. So Season 9 here, and the format doesn't change much from season on season. Why change what is broken? So the format we have for these races includes a 1 hour practice which the drivers are enduring right now, and then on the hour about 8 o'clock UK time. Remember, the clocks have changed since last week, so we are running on slightly different times. We are now running on GMT +1, but on the hour at 8 o'clock UK time we will be starting with qualifying. That is an open session with all drivers on the circuit for a 20-minute session to set the grid for our first race of the night, and that will follow qualifying. It will be a 20-minute sprint race. After the sprint race, we'll have a short interval, and after that interval, we will have a 60-minute feature race. 7 of the 10 rounds this season will feature that format we just went through. We have another 3 rounds this season, which will feature an endurance format. That will be a singular 2-hour race or 120-minute race with no qualifying. The grid is set by reverse championship order of each category, but reversed. So if you are leading the championship going into the endurance rounds, it means you'll start at the back of your category for those endurance rounds. And what makes this championship and series so unique is 2 things. One is there are classes, skill classes to be particular. There are gold, silver and bronze, and essentially it means that anyone of any skill category can take part in this series should they want to. The gold category typically comprises of drivers who are top tier iRacers. They're the best of the best. And the silver category is the middle tier of the drivers racing in this series, and the bronze category is catered for those who are lesser experienced drivers on iRacing or in racing in general. It is a series catered for all, and it basically means that no matter what experience you have, you will always be fighting for championships and always be fighting for wins. And what else makes this series so unique is we have live race control. We have a steward who is watching over the races, and he will issue, or he or she, should we say, because I don't actually know who it is, will issue safety cars, full course yellow systems, so very similar to Formula 1. The severity of the incident, or whatever's happening on the track, will depend on whether it's a full course caution called, or even a safety car. And actually, in NXTGEN Racing, red flags have been called in the past, and we are prepared for that if needed. And of course, if there are any incidents that can't be adjudicated during the races, they will be adjudicated after with post-race stewarding within this series. And penalties are issued, and penalties have been issued since round 1 of the championship. And this is a series that happens on Thursday nights, not every single week. We do have the odd week off, which we'll go through very shortly with the calendar. And you can expect to see us on NXTGEN Racing TV on YouTube and Facebook for most Thursdays until the summer. And my name's Alex Everett, your commentator for this series. Now, let's get into what tracks we are racing in the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Championship. We have, of course, the first round of the championship, which was last week. That was at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez Grand Prix circuit in Mexico City, high up in the high altitude circuit that is the Mexico City Grand Prix circuit. But today, we've headed south to South America, Brazil, Sao Paulo, the Autódromo José Carlos Pace circuit, and we know it as Interlagos. Very famous with Formula 1, very famous with the Brazilian stock car series, and such iconic moments in Formula 1 have featured at this race circuit in the past. We got Ayrton Senna winning with only one gear on his car, and he was absolutely broken at the end of that race, and it was his first ever win at the Brazilian Grand Prix, which eluded him for so long. We also have Felipe Massa losing out to the World Championship in 2008 to Lewis Hamilton that year. We also have the aforementioned Lewis Hamilton. He went on an incredible drive at this circuit in 2021 to make that championship very much alive to the very end. We all know what happened at the end of that story. And of course, recently, Max Verstappen has had some storming drives at this track in recent years, particularly last year. And it is going to feature tonight, so let's see if we get a legendary round tonight. Let's hope so. It has hosted in the past, has Interlagos. But let's go through the rest of the calendar before we talk a bit more about Interlagos and other stuff. Next week, we are back in action, but it will be the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. It will be the Road America circuit featuring the first endurance round of the season. Based in Wisconsin. It has featured in the championship in the past, and it was the sprint and feature race format that it was used for, and that was a great round. I remember it very, very well, actually, so I'm very much looking forward to heading back there. It's quite an underrated circuit, actually, and of course we see IMSA and IndyCar racing there, so very much looking forward to that. Then we're heading over the Atlantic back to Europe for a big European leg of the championship, and the first leg will be Aragon circuit in Spain, in the northeast region of Spain. And then we'll head over to Germany for a double header in Germany, the first of which will be at the Hockenheim Ring Grand Prix circuit for round 5. And then we'll be back to the endurance formats for the second half of the season, starting off at the notorious Green Hell, the Nürburgring in its entirety, will be featured for round 6 of the championship, the second of 3 endurance rounds. We're back in Britain for the home circuit and the home country for most of the drivers in this championship, and it'll be hosted at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, my closest to home track in Britain as well. That's round 7 of the championship. Then we'll be back in mainland Europe to Italy for round 8 of the championship at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza circuit in northern Italy. Then we'll be heading back over the Atlantic for a trip to the next-gen regular circuit that is Mosport, also known as the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. That'll be featured for round 9 of the championship. And round 10. All roads lead to Spa, don't they? Well, they should. That is the final round of the championship, and it will be a 2-hour endurance to end it all and crown our champions on the 4th of June. So that's the calendar for this season. But what about the cars? We mentioned that we're racing traditional GT3 machinery, and there's a lot of cars to choose from in this championship. And the drivers choose their car before the season starts, and they are allowed to change their car midway through the season should they wish to. But that comes with a cost. A 50-point penalty will be applied to their championship tally, their championship total, and that is the cost of changing a car midway through a season. So you can't just jump in and out of cars. There is a cost to it. You will select your car at the start of the season, which drivers have, and those cars on selection are the Acura NSX, the Aston Martin Vantage, the Audi R8, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. So we're here tonight, round 2 of the championship at the Interlagos circuit. And we join our drivers out on the track. As we can see there in the background, getting a little bit more practice in before qualifying starts in just 7 minutes time from right now, actually. So it is not cool conditions out there. 25 degrees out there, 70% humidity and quite cloudy, not very windy. But it means that the track temperatures could be getting rather high again tonight, because we did struggle with that last week at Mexico City. We were high altitude and the track was just getting really hot, real easy, so it became very difficult for the drivers to handle out there. The grip was so low, and we saw a lot of drivers spinning, losing control, and the minimum amount of contact did cause drivers to lose control as well. We saw a lot of that last week. Maybe we will see it this week. The track temperature at the moment is 29 degrees, so we'll see how high that will become. At the moment, that's looking a little bit cooler than Mexico City last week. And a little bit about Interlagos. Well, the name Interlagos comes from the Brazilian Portuguese word in between lakes. The Represa Billings and the Represa de Guarapiranha. I think that's how you say that. Anyway. We're on the outskirts of Sao Paulo city in Brazil, and this track was built in 1940, so very heritageical track, especially when it comes to Formula 1, as we mentioned earlier. We've got 15 turns, 10 to the left and 5 to the right. It is a 2.6 mile circuit, or 4.3 kilometres. And it is a track that its shape is one that's easily guessable to the regular racing fan like you and I. Now, we are trackside now. We've got 5 minutes left in the session. Now, we have got championship order to go through very shortly, but before we do that, let's just introduce some of the drivers who are leading the way in practice at the moment, because there are some runaway leaders at the moment in practice. William Guthrie, top of the standings right now. Now, William Guthrie came out of round 1 on the back foot. He had the most unfortunate of disconnections during the pit stop, literally as he got to the pit stall, in the last race at Mexico City. So he lost a lot of points in the championship already in that feature race, but he'll have the drop rounds later on in the season to help him out. But the driver who probably come into this season as one of the favourites on the back foot already. So we can see here, fast in practice, he's back with a vengeance, and we'll see how he can get on tonight. His rival Stephan Wessels and championship leader and defending champion Benji McCluskey is third. Whereas in the silver category, we have got Stijn Wetens at the top. Stijn Wetens was the near bronze category champion last season, but missed out in the final round. Sean Schutt in second and Matthew Addy in third. Whereas in the bronze category, it is Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in first place. He was quickest in qualifying last time out at Mexico City. And the sprint race winner of last time, Kurt Van Honecker, is second position, only quarter of a tenth behind. And Jonas Andersson, in his second round ever in Next Gen Racing, is third in the Mustang. So let's have a little look at the championship standings as we head into tonight, as we just mentioned them, of course. We have got some very, very swanky new championship graphics this season, as you can see. Curated by Paul Williams, one of the competitors of the series, so a big thank you to him. So let's go through the golds. First of all, it is Benji McCluskey at the blocks, leading by 6 points in the championship. He won the sprint race and finished on the podium in the feature race. The feature race winner, however, was Stephan Wessels. He is a former champion in Season 7. He won it in dramatic fashion. He wants that number 1 back, though. Harry Langford, strong and consistent last time out, finished second in the sprint race, and he is third in the championship heading into tonight. Kieran Davidson is fourth position. Now, I do beg your pardon, he was the winner of the feature race last time out, not Stephan Wessels. He was second, actually, so I do apologise, Kieran. Fifth place is... Oh, I didn't know it did that. Fifth place is Ben Altria for the Full Tilt team, followed by the host of the series, Gaz Williams, in sixth. George Plaster, a new driver to the series, in 7th position. Last season's silver category champion Brandon Vinter Squibb is in 8th position, promoted up to gold this season. Jason Raff, 9th, followed by Adam Wilson-Weir, former bronze category champion in golds now, is 10th. Now the silver category. Wojciech Kurt was the sprint race winner, of course, last week, and he leads the championship heading into this week by 5 points from feature race winner. And he definitely was the feature race winner, Jonathan Berry in 2nd position. Former bronze category champion Jeffrey Kruger is 3rd in the championship heading into tonight, with former gold contendant Sean Schutt is in 4th position. Last season bronze runner-up is 5th place in the silvers coming into tonight. It's Stijn Wetens, followed by Stephen Fry, not the comedian, in 6th position for Crest Autosport. Matthew Addy, 7th place for Next Gen Racing, followed by Paul Williams, the person who has made this brilliant, brilliant system here. And Mark Baker in 9th, followed by Elwyn Sykes, 10th position. Bronze category next, and Joshua Downing was the sprint race winner last week. He leads the championship heading into this week. Andrew Allen in 2nd position, only 2 points behind, and then Jonas Andersson in 3rd position. Gabriel Papaconstantino is in 4th position, followed by feature race winner Lewis Mason in 5th. Stephen de Gravelia, who had the opportunity for 2 podiums last week, getting 1 in the feature race in the end, is 6th. Leslie Brazil in 7th position, followed by Andy Rooney in 8th. Yaroslav Pataluk in 9th, and Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, quickest in practice at the moment, the bronze category, is 10th. And the teams category next. So this is created from up to 5 drivers you can have in your team by the looks of it. And basically your drivers contribute points from their category scorings to the team. And at the top of the stands at the moment is the Type 2 Racing Mods, which features Josh Downing, Andrew Allen and Ryan Blackie. In 2nd position is the CSA Team Pass-Up team. That features Stephan Wessels. Jeffrey Kruger, Sean Shute and Wesley Lewin. And in third place, Type 2 Racing with IMB, Jonathan Berry, Zara McGuinness and Stein Vatens. Loving that new system. And we are heading towards the end of practice at the moment. There's a couple of drivers still out on the track at the moment. Kurt Van Honecker is getting a little bit more practice in. As we look at the standings, not much has changed actually with the top threes we read out just a moment ago. The drivers will get ready for qualifying next, an all-important qualifying session. As Interlagos is actually quite a difficult track to overtake on, you have got the outer section of the circuit, which is fast and flowing with long straights. Probably two very long straights and one smaller straight. But you've got the infield, which is tight, twisty and technical. And slow, of course. But it's not the longest track in the world either. It's 1 minute 30 seconds for these GT3s, and Formula 1 cars can do that in much less time than that. And we head to the end of the practice session now. Drivers will head straight into qualifying, a 20-minute session as we mentioned, and that will form the grid for our opening race of the night, which will be the sprint race, starting in approximately 20 to 25 minutes time from now. So drivers will head out onto the track now. As usual, we will get a guided tour of the circuit from one of our resident drivers, and that resident driver might be the driver who's always out first in these qualifying sessions. It's Benji McCluskey, following his teammate Gaz Williams out on the track. Now, Benji McCluskey, he is the most successful driver in NXTGEN GT3 history. And he wants to keep the number one on his door. He got it back last season. He lost it in Season 7 to Stephan Wessels. And he did hold it for from Season 5 through Season 6, but lost it in Season 7, got it back last season in Season 8. It was a very difficult start to last season, actually, for Benji McCluskey, but what he does best is later in the season. That is when he attacks, and that's when he gets his points. So we'll see what happens tonight. Again, this season he has got some tough competition in Stephan Wessels, William Guthrie. He's also got the promoted silver champion Brandon Vince Squibb in the gold category now to worry about. There's plenty of other drivers we haven't just mentioned then. But we are going to do an onboard lap with Benji McCluskey on board his Ford Mustang, heading up the hill as we're going to start a lap of the Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo. So we're on the start-finish straight now. We're going to head round turn number 15 and we'll start the lap. Heading over slowly to the right, and then it'll be heavy braking down into the centre S. We brake on the 50-metre mark on the right, and then bleed it into the apex and hugging the inside, and then gently applying the throttle through turn 2, still the centre S. Now the Curva to Sol, turn 3. Keeping it nice and tight to the inside, and then once the exit of the corner appears, bleed it out there. Along the longest straight up the circuit here, and then it'll be heavy braking as we head up the hill into the Descida de Largo. Down to second gear, coasting through the corner and eventually applying the throttle. The tyres will still not be up to strength just yet as we head out of turn number 5. Up to Ferradura, turn number 6. Double apex corner here. Technically, actually, it's 2 corners, 6 and 7, but it's one long corner if you want to be technical about it. 8 here, and then into the Pinarino, turn number 9. Slowest corner on the circuit next, the Bico de Pato. Down to first gear, arms crossed up as you get into that corner. Now round turn 11, and we're heading towards Junção, a very famous circuit. Corner, excuse me. Just a little nip off the curb on the inside there and get it out to the outer curb there. If you go too wide there, you get a 1x, which is an off-track penalty on iRacing, but also the reverse camber that is on the outside of that corner will suck you out onto the grass if you're not careful enough. Okay, nice and close to the wall there. That's a lap of Interlagos from Benji McCluskey, our championship leader. He sets a time of 1:33.3. I did wonder if that was an invalid lap because he went very wide heading out of the Descida de Largo, but he got away with that. So who else is appearing on the board at the moment? Adam Wilson Weir, Brandon Vincent Squibb. At the moment, by more than 3/10, is Benji McCluskey. silver drivers have appeared on the board. Paul Williams, Alan McCain, Stein Vaten, Stephen Fry on the board. Bronze category drivers, when are they going to appear? First is Shamoy Samuel. First up there to set a valid lap in bronze category. They're all filtering through at the moment. Jochen Seeger is up for bronzes at the moment. Bronze drivers coming through just yet. Mostly silvers through. Mike Riedner into second place there, as we can see. Oh, he goes a bit wide heading out of turn number 1 there. Sammy Araba is a former race winner in the bronze category. And he will want some wins this season in the bronze category. So top of the silvers at the moment, Paul Williams, who's the first to come through for silvers and gets the advantage of being first at the moment in qualifying. But we will see those times tumble. It is William Guthrie at the top of the golds for the moment. Just 9,000ths of a second clear of Benji McCluskey for now. It was a very good practice performance from William Guthrie. But can he replicate it? Benji McCluskey, even quicker. About 2 seconds quicker than that previous lap, actually. He goes up into first place. Gaz Williams follows him. Jack Pittas is up into second place. And look at that. Adam Wilson-Weir with a stormer of a time. Alan McCain is looking quick in the silver category as well. Paul Williams has crossed the line and he goes higher in the overall standings, which we will switch to shortly. But Alan McCain now goes quickest of the silver category, and William Guthrie of the gold category goes top. Now, Alan McCain in silvers, he was following the benchmark around there. He was following William Guthrie around on that lap. That is someone you definitely want to follow on your lap around any circuit. So Alan McCain is definitely in the right spot there to use the slipstream and use the lines and braking points of the driver ahead. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez a long way clear of his bronze rivals, 8/10 clear at the moment. Very impressive second lap there from the Spaniard. And a lot of the bronze drivers coming through now. And just to check in, the amount of drivers that are in the server right now, I'll get a proper count later, but it is over 50 drivers who are racing tonight. So a big well done. Our driver who is new tonight, we introduce Quinten Klumpert, as we can see here in the Type 2 racing machine. New driver for tonight. And we'll see how he gets on in the silver category. Just like that, the cameras didn't want to look at him anymore for some reason. William Guthrie back to the top of the stands, but Adam Wilson-Weir looking very quick at the moment with a 32.4. Can't do maths without a spreadsheet, it seems. So, William Guthrie is going to come to the line now. Let's see what this lap holds for us. It is slightly slower, but not much slower. Hello, John Berry in the chat. He is not racing tonight, unfortunately. Our feature race winner from last time out. But good luck with the racing at the moment, John. And we'll see you back at Road America next week, hopefully. Zara McGuinness in the silver category, promoted to silver category from bronze category. Doing very well there. Third place in qualifying right now. Jeffrey Kruger, however, in the silver category, up to second place. But Alan McCain really has laid down the benchmark in the silvers right now. Likewise, in the bronze, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. Kurt Van Honecker doing okay there, 3/10 off, but second right now. And fellow race winner from last week, Lewis Mason, in third. Stephan Wessels has appeared into the top of the pops here for second place for him. 16/100ths of a second down. Benji McCluskey, though, was just about to click in before he set the lap. 1/10 ahead of William Guthrie on that lap, a 32.1. That's a very, very good lap, if I do say so. And another good lap has been put in. But this one in the bronze category, it's Andrew Allen straight to the top. A 10th clear of Ruiz Hernandez. And also looking quick there is Stephen de Gravelia in 4th position. Not much movement in the silver category at the moment, with the exception, of course, of just then Stein Vatens puts himself into second place, and going even quicker is Alan McCain, pole position at the moment. He was quickest in practice last night, the unofficial practice race they had last night. So don't write him off tonight, and the Porsche is always very good round here. Ruiz Hernandez, or as we see a car fly past like Bortoleto then. Not quite into the barriers like Bortoleto did then, but Ruiz Hernandez even quicker, back to the top of the bronze category. What we're going to do at this point, actually, though, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to switch to an overall standings. You can still check in on the drivers in their categories. That's still important. But we go to overall standings because the race start grid for the sprint race is the overall standings of qualifying. It is not split into the groups of the classes. So it is the overall standings we need to look at. And the crucial thing here is the further away you are from your rivals, the more drivers in other categories got between you and your competitors in your category, better and safer off you'll be, actually. It means you've got drivers between yourself and other positions. And I'm going to say, I've just spotted a welcome back to the Series 2 Matt Everton. Now, he's in the only Aston Martin in the field right now, but it's good to have him back. He is a resident driver of NXTGEN Racing, and he was missed last week, but he's back tonight in that Aztec Racing Aston Martin in the gold category this season as well. Now back to the action in qualifying as we head to the halfway point. Sean Shute goes to second in the silver category right now. Oh, as he takes a little wiggle and goes off the track, heading out of the Senna S. But his second place in qualifying right now for the silver driver, 8th place overall, right behind the current pole sitter of the silver category, Alan McCain. Now I say pole sitter, and it's because getting the highest position of your category in qualifying will get you the bonus point for the championship. Always important getting 1 point here and there, and you do also get a point for fastest lap in the sprint race and the feature race. Klaas Velen into the top 10. German driver for turn 2, Type 2 Racing. I did that mistake last week as well. No, sorry, he's in Gassed Up Motorsports. I will learn this eventually. Just takes me a few rounds to get used to it. We're halfway through the session right now. So drivers will head into the pits, and one of them is Stephan Wessels at the moment. I do wonder if the tyres are going to be a little bit more enduring this week, because Mexico City was a bit of a tyre killer with the altitude, with the track temperatures. It did not help. Now our host of the series, Gaz Williams, he's the one who puts it all on. He has an army of people around him who helps put this series on. Not to mention them, but Gaz Williams is the person who runs this series, so a big clap for him is needed. But 6th place in this series right now. As well as running it, he does like to compete in it, and he's helping out his teammates. Benji McCluskey there with a big draft down the main straights. And Benji McCluskey, at the moment, was looking very good at the start of the session. 4th place right now. And it is just over a 10th of top spot, to be fair. So it is real close between that top 4. And between the top 21 drivers, less than a second. That's how close things can be in this series. Current pole sitter in the bronze category is Andrew Allen. He's 2nd place heading into tonight in the championship of bronze. He was a bit quiet last time out. Just kept his nose out of trouble, I believe, last time out at Mexico. But tonight, he's making some noise with pole in his category. Other drivers who are quick out there. Come on, do something, guys. But still in the silvers, just to reference them yet again. Alan McCain did pick up a few penalty points from last time out at Mexico City. Was involved in a few incidents, and they've not gone in his favour when it's come to the steward's room. But tonight, he can make back some points. Wojciech Kurt, very good start to the season, leads the championship. He's in 3rd. It's 12 overall. William Guthrie has done a good opening split on this lap. 2 and 4, not great. Let's see how 5 gets on. It was a quicker lap. Yes, it was. And goes to within half a 10th of Stephan Wessels at the top. Just needs a little bit more. And less than a 10th between the top 3 at the moment. What a series this can be. And that's the evidence. Stein Vatens has put in a good time. He was following William Guthrie up ahead. Actually, we saw Alan McCain do that not too long ago. But Stein Vatens up to 10th overall and 3rd in class. Brilliant lap from last season's runner-up in bronze category. George Plaster goes into 7th for Gassed Up Motorsports. Highest driver of their team, I believe. this is a very interesting session so far indeed. Not many drivers moving around at the moment. There's a couple of drivers on outlaps, as we can see on the timing tower on our left. It's because drivers are coming to get new tyres. They're going to try and blast it out for a couple more laps to finish off the session. Five silver category drivers are fairly close from 9th to 14th. Down to Paul Williams here. They're within 3/10. Some really close margins in that silver category up this end of the field. And the bronze category drivers of Andrew Allen and Adrian Ruiz Hernandez are a long way clear. The nearest driver in 3rd in category, 29th, is Lewis Mason. So they're fairly safe at the moment from those drivers, but as we head into the last moments of qualifying, we're heading into the final quarter shortly, things could change. Here's our pole sitter for the moment overall though, Stephan Wessels in the CSA team. Just getting the tyres warmed up. He is on a few outlaps at the moment, so the times will roll in shortly. Drivers actually on big laps at the moment, but Jason Raff has put in a lap that gets him much higher up the board. Last season was in silver and picked up a few wins last season in silver. His gold this season, up to 11th overall though. And we can confirm 50 drivers exactly here tonight. There were 52 last week, so only a drop-off of 2. See if Benji McCluskey can go any quicker. That was definitely not a quicker lap. It was a 35.07. Potentially a set-up lap or an out lap. Phil McDougall, promoted from silver category to gold this season, up to 15th overall. Just getting out of the way of the driver passing through behind. George Plaster 7th at the moment. Go quicker, but someone who did go quicker was this driver behind in the Ferrari. One of 3 Ferraris in the field. Gavin Gardner up into 11th, 9th in category. And those silver category drivers we can see in view there on the timing tower being split up a little bit by the gold drivers going quicker. It means that 5th place Paul Williams is much further behind the pole sitter Alan McCain than what he was a couple of moments ago, and it now means that all the drivers on the board here, the top 25 are now within a second of each other here in qualifying. As you can see, Alan McCain here, leader of the silvers right now, is towing along teammate Stephen de Gravelia right now. No, that's Nigel Stock behind him. Very similar liveries between Nigel and Stephen. Silver driver helping another silver driver, both in the same team. You do see this in qualifying. You saw it with Benji McCluskey and Gaz Williams for NXTGEN. So let's see how Nigel Stock gets on this lap. He crosses the line, 23rd previously. That might have been a set-up lap actually, 1:35.1. So we'll see at the end of this lap how he'll get on. We'll see if he moves up the standings. Stephan Wessels is warming up a little bit, a very good second sector there, but still only a 1:33. And drivers are going to be starting their final lap shortly in this session when we tick over 18.28-ish. It'll be the final lap that these drivers will be able to complete. And that will be round about now actually. Elwyn Sykes might only get one more lap, and those drivers who are now going to be crossing the line, well, Josh Downing was one of them. He's just had to come into the pits. But other drivers will now be starting their final lap, and there's a couple of drivers who are well down the order at the moment who will want to get a wriggle on. Jack Pittas starts a new lap, his final lap in session. Not many green and purple splits out there, but William Guthrie is looking half quick here, and he is. It is pole position for the moment by 0.04 of a second. That is a statement clutch lap from William Guthrie. Challenge that, Stephan Wessels, and he can't. He's in the pits. That's it. Stephan Wessels will not be able to go quicker than William Guthrie now. It's down to Harry Langford. He'll cross the line. He'll get one more lap. And it starts now. But that was not the lap to be quicker. Benji McCluskey is not too far off on that last lap from his PB. He needs to squeeze out another 10th somehow. We are heading towards the end of the session here. Checkered flag will wave and Elwyn Suggs will be the first to the line. In fact, it might actually be the driver of Jaroslav Pataluk, who was the first to cross the line there. That's Elwyn Sykes across the line. 9th place in category, 27th overall for him. Ryan Blackwell will cross the line. Goes a little bit higher. Jeffrey Kruger into the pits. Some drivers will opt out and go straight for the pits if they're not going quicker on their lap. Whoa, Alden Wilson we're just about avoided the tyre wall then. He's heading to the line. Doesn't go higher. Benji McCluskey, what about him? Does not go quicker. And William Guthrie does not go quicker than that previous stormer of a lap. But we have got other drivers heading through. Harry Langford, can he do anything? Yellow splits at the moment. It looks like it's not quite going to happen. And he isn't. He's coming into the pits. I'm fairly sure now that we have got our grid for the opening race of the night. So our pole sitters, the bonus point winners from being quickest of their category in qualifying, will be William Guthrie in the gold category, Alan McCain in the silver category, and Andrew Allen in the bronze category. Well done to those drivers. Jason Raff is indeed the last person to cross the line. If you don't think, yeah, Adam Wilson-Weir definitely isn't on a flying lap. Might just be getting a little bit of cheeky practicing still, but it's the only driver on the track right now. We will soon be heading into the first race session of the night. And don't forget, the grid is all clustered together. They'll all start in one grid, no split category grids. Here's the order we see on our screen there. So an interesting session. There was a little bit of a kind of limbo period in the middle of that session where nothing really happened. But I'd say the biggest moment of qualifying there was William Guthrie snatching away pole position in the final moments by 0.04 of a second. Big moments make for big championship moves. We might have seen part of that today. But we'll go into the grid for our opening race of the night, because the race is where it really does matter. William Guthrie will lead us off the line for the start of this race from pole position for the Full Tilt Motorsport team. Stephan Wessels for CSA in second. Harry Langford will start third position ahead of championship leader Benji McCluskey, fourth on the grid. Jack Pittas with Gaz Williams, the host of the series, alongside in 6th. George Plaster and Adam Wilson-Weir in 8th position. Alan McCain 9th with Sean Shute in 10th. They are the top of the silver category drivers. Gavin Gardner 11th with Jason Raff in 12th. 13th is Klaas Vellen, and third of the silver drivers is Stein Vatens in 14th position. 15th is Jesse Payne-Wilkins with Phil McDougall alongside. Wojciech Kerp, the championship leader for silvers, is 17th with Paul Williams alongside. Row 10 is Brandon Vincent Squibb, last season's silver category champion, and Jeffrey Kruger, 20th position. Matt Cheverton is in 21st with Andrew Allen. Top of the bronze category drivers is 22nd. 23rd and 24th, new driver Quinten Klumpert and Nigel Stock, 24th. 25th is second of the bronze drivers, Lewis Mason, with third of the bronze drivers, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, in 26th. Elwyn Sykes, Matthew Addy will line up on the 14th row, with Stephen Fry and Zara McGuinness on the 15th row. Jonas Anderson and Leslie Brazil make it an all-bronze category driver, row 16, with David Price in 33rd and Stephen de Greveglia alongside in 34th. 35th is Gabriel Papaconstantino, and Josh Downing, the championship leader of bronze category, is 36th. 37th, Kurt Van Honecker, who is meant to be in the silver category, but the colours are all wrong there. But Robert Savage in 38th, with Jochen Seeger in 39th, Wesley Luno in 40th, with Ryan Blackwell in 41st. Matt Gatter 42nd from Joseph Wright in 43rd. 44th is Shamoy Samuel, with Jopi Siemens in 45th. Yaroslav Pataluk in 46th. Sammy Araba is in 47th, with Michael McCarthy in 48th. 49th, Mike Reedner, and Andy Rooney will start at the back of the grid. So this is us moving off the grid, and this will be our opening race of the night of the Next Gen Racing GT3 Season 9, Round 2 at Interlagos. So William Guthrie will lead us off the line, and the good thing is they'll all be able to start on the main straight, whereas last time out at Mexico City, when the drivers on pole position were moving over the start-finish line, there were drivers at the back of the grid still in the arena section of Mexico City last week, whereas this time around they'll all be on a straight and fast section of Interlagos, and it is a considerably shorter run down to turn number 1 than last week. But William Guthrie will have the inside line for that, but it's not always the better line to have for a rolling start here at Interlagos, so he will have to make sure he gets a good start, and these drivers have to hold pace car pace until the lights turn green. They're not allowed to floor it at whatever moment they want to, like it is in regular official racing on iRacing. They are told by the rules of this league that they have to hold their pace until the lights go out. So the pace car will eventually peel off. William Guthrie and Stephan Wessels will lead us to the line. There's a couple of drivers further back who are holding themselves back. They want to have much more room in front of them for the start of this race. Off goes the pace car. Guthrie will lead us to the line. And now they'll floor it for round 2 at Interlagos, the sprint race. Down towards turn number 1. Guthrie stays inside and Wessels moving over. We can see Benji McCluskey looking outside as they head into turn number 1. Down the hill in through the Senna S they go. Langford's on the outside and off the track. He might lose a position. Oh no, and a spin from Wessels. And there's contact in the midfield as well. Gaz Williams caught up in that. And somehow a lot of the drivers managed to make their way through. But Stephan Wessels has dropped down so many positions there. As we head towards turn number 5, William Guthrie has broken away with a lead here. And Benji McCluskey is up places to that second place. And there's still drivers spinning in the midfield there. That was Stein Vaten sideways with oncoming traffic. And all of them filtering around each other as we head through turn 5 and more contact further back. I think that might have been Stephan Wessels caught up in again. More contact. The tyres are cold and there is a car off on the side there. That was one of the Type 2 cars. Couldn't quite make out who it was, but it's so tentative at the start of this race here with cold tyres and a twisty circuit. The one driver who's not got any trouble right now, William Guthrie, 1.6 seconds clear of Benji McCluskey at the start of this race. Lewis Mason with a dream start to this race. A little bit of contact there, which might not have helped, but he's leading this race nonetheless in the bronze category. Fell down the order, was the pole sitter of bronze category. I'm just trying to work out where they've gone. Andrew Allen is down to the bottom of the grid, and so is Alan McCain, who was the silver pole sitter. So both pole sitters of bronze and silver are well down the order now with a lot of damage. At the end of lap 1, William Guthrie leads this race. McCluskey second, Langford third, up to 6th overall, and first in class silvers is Wojciech Kurp, the championship leader, with Sean Schutt behind. Third in silvers is Jeffrey Kruger. Just behind him is Lewis Mason, last week's feature race winner of the bronze category and leading today in this sprint race. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in second of bronze, with Gabriel Papaconstantino right behind. Papaconstantino's looking inside. He's just trying to take a look as we see a look made and a move made by Jesse Payne-Wilkins. Oh, Stein Vatens is facing the wrong way again. And that is rear end against the wall, and that's going to remove all of his rear end and his rear wing. And that's Sean Shute, who was second in silvers, facing the wrong way at Ferradura here. My word, it is all happening early on in this race as we got more side-by-side action. Phil McDougall moving past Gavin Gardner there. And ahead they've got Adam Wilson-Weir, but Stephan Wessels trying to recover. His race is in 10th now. And he's got teammate Jason Raff behind him. What a start to this race. It's all completely turned on its head from what qualifying was looking like. Biggest mover. Overall positions gained 11 for Wojciech Kurp. He's up to 6th in this race and a long way clear of his rivals as Stephan Wessels spun out at Ferradura just a moment ago. Nearest is Jeffrey Kruger there in 12th. So that means Wojciech Kurp has got a lot of cars between him and his rivals. And don't forget that for these sprint races and feature races, they score based on their category position. So eventually we will switch out to the category standings in the timing tower. For now, we'll keep it overall while things are a little bit more hectic. Bronze battle here, heading out of the Curva to Sol. It is Ruiz Hernandez ahead of Gabriel Papaconstantino in the Aztec car as he takes to the inside for the Interlagos. Off the track a little bit goes Ruiz Hernandez. That was a very good late breaking move from Papaconstantino. Nearly contact as they head out the corner, but I think Papaconstantino might have got the move done. He has. Into second place goes the British Cypriot driver for Aztec Racing. And Jesse Payne-Wilkins is able to gain on them. Oh, going a little bit wide behind them as he had to brake very, very sharply there behind those drivers. Constantino in up was Jonas Andersson, 4th place in the Gaslight Motorsports Argon car. What a start to this race for Wojciech Kurp. Meanwhile, at the front, William Guthrie flashing his lights. It's a back marker ahead. And they peel off into the pits. 1.5 second lead ahead of McCluskey at the moment. But fastest lap of the race. That's also important. That's another bonus point. And Langford is getting a big slipstream from Benji McCluskey to help with that. Let's switch over to the category standings now because they're the points we are looking out for. Langford. We have found with the silver category drivers at the front, because it's fixed setup series as well, that's something I didn't mention earlier on, is they don't have setups they can tinker with. They get what they're given with these cars. The only thing they can change is the brake bias, and it just means that the drivers at the top of the table here are so closely knit that getting the edge on one another is the absolute finest of margins to try and find on one another. So that's why we don't see many moves at the top of the field here. It's because they are at the peak of their powers, are the likes of Langford, McCluskey, Guthrie, Wessels as well. But Langford has to try and find those tiny, tiny moments on the track where he can gain on McCluskey, who is maybe as close to perfection as you can get in this series. He's done this season in, season out with multiple race wins. And Langford, a driver who doesn't win many races but is always towards the top of the standings in the championship and the races. Let's see what he can do as this race goes on. Fastest lap by William Guthrie. He takes back that fastest lap bonus point. Although Harry Langford got a faster lap, as you can see on the last laps appearing, he did have an invalid lap. Now Jeffrey Kruger is responding to Wojciech Kurp up ahead. Fastest lap of the race by a couple of tenths as well. 2.8 down, so he's got a bit to catch up on. Meanwhile, in the silvers, we have a battle for third place. That may be on soon. Matthew Addy in the Mercedes versus Paul Williams in the Écurie Col Doisseur team. 4th place in silvers. Whoa, it's a little bit of a dive from Matt Cheverton on Paul Williams, and it didn't quite make it. Matthew Cheverton does love a diving move to the inside, and a flash of the lights there from Cheverton. That was either you turned in on me or sorry about that, and I got a feeling it wasn't the latter. Oh, as Paul Williams goes a bit wide there, I'm not sure if that was an intentional let-by, but that means Cheverton is through, and Paul Williams now got a car between him and third place in his category. Okay. Bronze category. Gabriel Papaconstantino still in second. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez third. He has got Jonas Anderson, the teammate behind, and we are now to a caution. A four-course yellow. And it means drivers have to go down to slow pace, and it means there's been an incident on the circuit, and we are waiting for it to clear. It looks like it was Sammy Araba involved in that, and we'll just go to a quick replay to see what actually happened there. There's Araba off the track there. A little bit of confusion between him and another CSA team driver. Ugh, big spin there. Half spin, now off the track. I've got a feeling that's not what caused our caution. Can't see what else would have caused it, actually. Nothing's come up on the timing tower. But they'll wait for the stewards to call resume of racing. There we go, we are racing again here at Interlagos for a brief full-course caution. And trying to keep McCluskey out of his slipstream there, as McCluskey is within a second now. Doesn't mean any DRS or anything like that in this series, of course, they're GT3 cars. But McCluskey has naturally got a little bit of an advantage on McCluskey there as it bunched up a little bit under that caution. Now, the way that it works with these cautions is they do get a countdown timer for when a caution is needed. And stewards count down, or race control, should we say, count down from 10. And by the time he gets to 0, everyone has to be at pit lane speed. Now, back to the bronze category. Stephen de Grevelier has just made a move on Jonas Anderson. There's a car off on the side there letting them through. I think that's Matt Gatter, but Stephen de Grevelier has just moved into 4th place. Oh, there's more battling in this contact between the two. Off the track goes Stephen de Grevelier, and he takes with him, I think that was Elwyn Sykes. This is what happened just then. We'll get it from a bird's eye view. Stephen de Grevelier was just moving up the field, and we were going to see that move just a moment ago between them two. Now he backs up a little bit from the CSA driver behind, and a move from Gastet Motorsports in his rear end contact, and that takes Stephen out of contention, and a lot of damage to that car means he's going to have to come back to the pits. But away goes Jonas Anderson, still in 4th. His teammate Adrian Ruiz Hernandez up ahead. There's a big crocodile of cars here, and it starts with, I think, Wojciech Kurp here, and Jeffrey Kruger is now gaining on him, so that big brilliant start from Wojciech Kurp, it's coming a little bit undone right now as Stephan Wessels is behind him, and Stephan Wessels will want to recover some places. Bit of damage on the car of Stephan Wessels, you can see there. He'll want to recover some positions and keep the points up in gold category, and Jeffrey Kruger, he's bringing with him, being his teammate. Wojciech Kurp could have hit a bit more curb there. I thought he was going to go a little bit wide, but he's got away with it. This could be a battle for silver win between Kurp and Kruger. Can Kurp repeat his sprint race win from last week, or will Kruger take away from him? William Guthrie has got the gap back over to over a second. He's relatively safe from McCluskey. Any mistakes, though, means that McCluskey and Langford will pounce. Langford himself has dropped off a little bit from McCluskey as well, but we watch this battle for 9th. Through Youngcow we go. That was a good exit from Stephan Wessels. Let's see if he can get the slipstream and make the move down this straight. You know what, he might not be close enough already. Although it's quite a long non-straight at Interlagos, feels like it ends so quickly sometimes. Oh, and there's a very late break from Stephan Wessels. He nearly went into the back of Wojciech Kurp. And that CSA Mustang already a bit beaten up. It could have been a bit more beaten up then if he wasn't on the brakes so sharply then. We have got a move potentially up front here. Gavin Gardner making a move on Phil McDougall. McDougall's trying to power around the outside though. But Gavin Gardner, by the looks of it, is gaining the place. Up to 7th place goes Gavin Gardner. Flash of lights there from Stephan Wessels. Wojciech Kurt will know that the silver driver of Jeffrey Kruger is behind, chasing. Will he make the move here? No, Wojciech Kurt gets it to the inside just in time. Oh, and I think there was a cheeky nudge there, but Wojciech Kurt is safe from it. And back here, it's shuffling up a little bit between all of these drivers back here. There's Matthew Addy, Payne Wilkins. Klaas Vellen has just moved past Matthew Cheverton. Cheverton's trying to fight back, though. He'll have the inside for the next corner as well. Oh, and oh no, that's one of the Crest Autosport cars. Get out the way, come on guys. That's what they're shouting there at that Crest Autosport driver. He's one of mine, sorry. But that really punches things up behind. Look at that, Cheverton and Klaas Vellen and Payne Wilkins in a battling triangle here as they head towards turn 1 again. Oh, contact between Klaas Vellen and Payne Wilkins. Will Payne Wilkins go for the dive going into turn number 1 on Cheverton? No, he won't. But he stays inside. Klaas Vellen at the moment, who now has the inside for the Senna S. And he got to the inside of Cheverton as well, but he tucks back in for that 13th spot. That's 13th overall, just to remind. Now, Wojciech Kurt has pulled away a little bit from Stephan Wessels. As we see Payne Wilkins rebound with a move on Klaas Vellen. Contact as they go through to see the Interlagos, and back ahead is Jesse Payne Wilkins. Brilliant stuff in the mid-pack here, and the bronze category has shuffled up as well. Gabriel Papaconstantino leads now from Adrian Ruiz and Jonas Anderson. Oh, big spin now. I was just looking away at the timing screen. That's happened. Jonas Anderson spins out of podium contention now. He had to avoid his teammate, but in doing so, the CSA driver rather ambitiously goes up to the inside. That puts Jonas Anderson out of contention there. Does promote Josh Downing to 3rd place. He won the sprint race last week. He's up into the podium spots for this round right now. William Guthrie 1.1 clear of McCluskey, who himself is a fair way clear of Langford. As wide there goes Stephan Wessels. And he's behind Wojciech Kurt there. Let's see what happens. Very late on the brakes again. We saw that just a moment ago. He just understeers off the track. I just wonder if the car is not slowing down as well as it should. A bit of a torrid time at the moment is for Stephan Wessels in this race. He's now under pressure to keep the top 10 here as Matthew Cheverton moves to the inside at Ferradura. He's also got all over him Klaas Vellen and Jesse Payne Wilkins. Matt Cheverton inside. But Wessels will hold the inside for the next corner. He does. But then the inside will go to Cheverton for the next corner. But I think Wessels just about hung on to it. Or has he? No, Cheverton's going to try and find his way back to the inside, and he does. But the inside goes to Wessels for the next 2 corners, and then the straight section after that. Oh, he's got a bit of understeer on that car as well, and nearly contact as he rejoined on Cheverton, but Cheverton does not give up. We saw that in the TCRs a while ago as well. Still door banging between the two of them. This is GT3 Racing Up touring cars, guys. 3 wide on the straight here. Cheverton is back behind Wessels is back behind Cheverton. Klaas Vellen on the outside. This is a battle for 10th. Wessels has got a wounded car and he's really struggling out there. Into turn 1, and Cheverton drops back behind Stephan Wessels and Klaas Vellen. What brilliant battling, and this is for 10th place in category. Excuse me, 9th place in category. And up ahead Silver category win is up for grabs between these two. Wojciech Kurp and Kruger, they have met up in this race, even though it was looking like an impossible feat for Jeffrey Kruger a while ago. But also we got the bronze category, Papa Constantino versus Ruiz Hernandez. Ruiz Hernandez is new to the series and has not won a race yet in the bronze category, whereas Papa Constantino has plenty of bronze category wins under his belt in the past. We've got 2.5 minutes left in this race. There's just plenty going on out there in this pack. Wojciech Kurp exits the final corner. Fastest lap for Langford, just to report on that. He gets the bonus point for the time being in gold category. Fastest lap in the silvers, I think, is Jeffrey Kruger right now. No move from Kruger just yet. He'll have about 2 laps to do so if he wants to make a move, or does he just cash in for some points? Kruger has been in the silver category for a while. In fact, he had a stint in gold category last season. Wojciech Kurp guarding the inside. But didn't need to as they headed towards the braking zone. He was just trying to get Kruger out of his slipstream. Bronze category, Papa Constantino and Ruiz Hernandez. Still nose to tail, no moves from them just yet. Oh, and here it is. Here is the move. It was just a dive from Kruger there. Oh, and Wojciech Kurp elbows him out to the outside. Oh, and a late break move, and through goes Jeffrey Kruger. And Stephan Wessels trying to fight back, and it's a spin from Wojciech Kurp. Oh, no, don't reverse there. No. Oh, dear me. Yeah. So let's just get another shot of what actually happened there between Wojciech Kurp from the start to the end of that. Into Ferradura, he's quite a way ahead actually of Wojciech Kurp. Was it a diving move from Kruger? Big exit there and a big dive to the inside. Wojciech Kurp goes out to defend it. He tries to elbow Kruger out here. Doesn't quite work though. Kruger somehow hangs on to it and gets the move done here. But then tries to go back to the inside. Wessels gets out of shape and there goes Kurp off, and we won't see the rest because we already seen that. And it did ruin someone else's race. Someone went piling into them. I got a feeling it was Nigel Stock as well, as he's got the meatball flag accompanied with his name there. But we are going to switch to the front of the golds here. William Guthrie didn't have the best of rounds last time. He had the disconnection in the feature race. He didn't win the sprint race. But he's back to winning ways here tonight. He wins the sprint race in the gold category here at Interlagos. And it has been 3 different winners in gold category so far this season. Benji McCluskey, championship leader. He'll be pleased with 2nd place there. And Harry Langford, 3rd place for him. Silver category, it's going to be Jeffrey Kruger, who got the move done. It was a big move, and it just about paid off. And he's going to come through as the winner of the silver category. There he is, he crosses the line as silver winner, and just behind as well, coming through as bronze category winner, Gabriele Papaconstantino gets it done in the bronze category. Second place in the silver category was Matthew Addy. Strong race for him there. And 3rd place in the silvers was Stephen Fry. And 2nd place in the bronze category was Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. And 3rd, rounding off the podium with the sprint race in bronze, was Josh Downing. Plenty going on in that race, and it was a shame we saw some of the incidents that we did see. hopefully we'll see less of that in the feature race, which is coming up after this. We're going to go through the results of this race very, very shortly, but we are going to, after this race, have a small break, and then when we come back it'll be the feature race, and the feature race will have a grid based on the results of this race, but each category will be grouped together and they'll be reversed based on the results of this race. So the winner of gold category, William Guthrie, will start at the back of the gold category in the next race. And it will be a 60-minute race, and we will see one scheduled pit stop in that race, which means that tyre wear, fuel strategies will come into play. Okay, so let's go to the results of our sprint race, and these are all, of course, provisional until the stewards review the race, of course. William Guthrie is the winner of the gold category of this opening race of the night. Benji McCluskey second from Harry Langford in third. Jack Pittas, his teammate, is behind in fourth. George Plaster fifth, with Adam Wilson-Weir in sixth position. Gavin Gardner, who we saw make the move on Phil McDougall, they stayed close together for 7th and 8th respectively in the end. Klaas Vellen in 9th, followed by Stephan Wessels, who had a very difficult race there, does round off the top 10. Matt Cheverton in 11th, followed by David Price. Jason Raff in 13th, followed by Jesse Payne-Wilkins. Brandon Vincent Squibb in 15th from Gaz Williams. Over to Silvers now, and it is a win in category provisionally for Jeffrey Kruger, followed by Matthew Addy of NXTGEN Racing in 2nd. Stephen Fry in 3rd position, followed by Ryan Blackwell and Zara McGuinness in 5th, and Quinton Klumpert on his first race in the series, 6th position in Silvers. Sean Shute 7th, with Elwyn Sykes in 8th. Nigel Stocker got caught up in that incident on the penultimate lap, is 9th. Alan McCain, who we saw had the incident on the opening lap of the race, is 10th, which we'll go back to the replay of just after this. Wojciech Kerp 11th, following that incident on the penultimate lap. Paul Williams 12th from Stein Vaten in 13th. Joby Siemens 14th, and a DNF also, as well as Joby Siemens for Rob Savage. Bronze category next. Gabriel Papaconstantino gets the win under his belt, his first of the season, making it 3 different winners in the bronze category, as well as silver. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 2nd position, followed by Josh Downing, the championship leader heading into tonight. Leslie Brazil, best result of the season, is 4th, with Shamoy Samuel also best result of the season in 5th. Jonas Anderson 6th, followed by Jochen Siegert. Kurt Van Honecker is in 8th position, followed by Wesley Lewin in 9th, and rounding off the top 10 is Sammy Araba. Joseph Wright in 11th, followed by championship leader heading into tonight, and was pole sitter, but an incident on the opening lap. Andrew Allen is 12th in the end. Michael McCarthy in 13th position, followed by Andy Rooney 14th. 15th is Matt Gatter, Mike Riegner 16th. 17th is Stephen de Gravelia, and Lewis Mason 18th. This has been the opening race of the night, the sprint race. We'll be back with the feature race very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go for a quick break, and it will be the 60-minute race coming up next.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Interlagos circuit in Brazil for the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 9 Championship, round 2 of the championship. This is the GT3 Season 9, and we're heading into the feature race of round 2 right now. But first, a shout out to NXTGEN Racing, the people and the organisation who put on this championship. And also, without NXTGEN, well, it wouldn't be able to run without our partner sponsors and affiliates here. That include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, and Falconer PC. So we're in round 2 of the championship right now. And next week we're going to be heading north again to Wisconsin State, to the Road America circuit. And that'll be the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. So expect us next week to be live on the channel as we normally do. But it will be a singular 2-hour race. There'll be no qualifying. So on the hour at 8 o'clock next week, UK time that is, we're going straight for it. So be sure to tune in for that here on YouTube or on NXTGEN Racing's Facebook. And if you haven't already, please give us a follow or subscribe on the channel. And also give the video a like as well. It really does help NXTGEN Racing out. So that's our calendar for the season. Road America is next week. Tonight is the Autódromo José Carlos Pace circuit, which looks a little bit like something like this. A very, very iconic track layout. Famous in Formula 1, of course. Famous with the Brazilian stock cars. And it is hosting tonight. Now, race 1 was a little bit chaotic, let's just say. There was a couple of very questionable incidents in that race. And the stewards and the organisers of the league have told people to calm down a little bit. But for us viewers, it was incredible to watch at times. And as a result, we have got an updated championship system, which I think is going to be able to be updated each race as we go through this season. So, yeah, last week, obviously, it was being set up, so we weren't able to show it straight away. But this week, it should be updated on the fly, which is fantastic. So let's go to the gold category after that race. We have got Benji McCluskey still at the top of the standings, and Harry Langford behind in second place. Stephan Wessels with 6 points in that last race, but he still sits third. In fact, he drops to third from second. William Guthrie with the fastest lap and the win of the race last time out in the sprint race is 4th position. He gains up the positions a little bit because, remember, he did have that DNF from Mexico City feature race last time out. Silver category, Jeffrey Kruger goes to the top of the standings. Wojciech Kurp was leading the majority of that race, but he only scored 5 points as a result of that penultimate lap incident. That drops into second in the championship as we head into this sprint race. Matthew Addy's having a nice, good, consistent run this season. He's in third, with Stephen Fry keeping his nose out of trouble. 4th place for him. And in the bronze category, Gabriel Papaconstantino now takes the lead of the championship with that win in the sprint race. Josh Downing drops to second place, but still a good result on the podium in that previous race. He's second. Jonas Anderson in 3rd position, and Andrew Allen did have the pole position bonus point and pole position, but the first lap incident dropped him down the order. He's 4th, but he'll have a good starting position for this next race. And just to remind, we did say before we went for the break that the feature race grid will be based on the sprint race results previously, and you're not expected to remember them. We will go through the grid before we start the next race, but it'll be the results of the sprint race, each category grouped, and they'll be reversed based on those sprint race results. So the winner of the sprint race in gold category, as we mentioned, William Guthrie, will now start at the back of the gold category for the start of this feature race. And it does mean they'll start in their groups as well, which means we'll get cleaner starts. Not all 50 drivers hurtling into turn 1 at once. It'll be the groups of approximately 16-17 drivers per category. Each of them starting separately on the grid. There's about 5-10 seconds between each category. drivers getting a little bit of practice out there before we head into the next race of the night. I was getting a little bit acclimatised to the track conditions. We have got an air temperature of 24 and a track temperature of 26. I didn't actually see what it got up to during that race, but it looks like it's not quite getting to the heights of Mexico City last time, which was heading towards the high 40s. So this week is a little bit more tame when it comes to the track temperature. And something else to bear in mind in this series, there is realistic weather, so at any point in this season and during the races it can rain. We are heading into the summer for the majority of these circuits, this one being the exception, being in the southern hemisphere. We are around about autumn time in Brazil right now, in reality. But we've seen Brazil on the TV many a times, and it is prone to a deluge of rain. So expect anything here. So we're just about to end practice. We're going to go straight into the gridding up upon the conclusion of this practice session, of course. Gridding up for the race. It'll be a 60-minute feature race, as we mentioned. There will be one scheduled pit stop in that race for every single driver. The fuel tanks cannot get to the end. And normally we see the pit stops at around about 30 to 35 minutes. Any unscheduled pit stops are people trying different strategies or repairing their car. Thinking outside the box, generally we see with this series, the longer you can go, the better, because obviously you're sitting in your box for less time, filling up with fuel. If you can save more fuel, it means you need less fuel for the rest of the race, and it takes a long time to fill the tanks here in these GT3 cars on iRacing. So the more you can save the fuel, the better. So we're about to go to the grids for our feature race, and we'll start off with the gold category. It will be Gaz Williams who'll start on the front of the gold category, with Brandon Vincent Squibb, last season's silver category champion, starting second for golds in this race. Jesse Payne-Wilkins, third position from Jason Raff in fourth. David Price, fifth from Matt Cheverton in sixth position. Stephan Wessels in sixth, with Klaas Vellen in eighth. Phil McDougall, ninth from Gavin Gardner. Adam Wilson-Weir, 11th from George Plaster. And then the following drivers are Jack Pittas, Harry Langford, Benji McCluskey and William Guthrie will start at the back of the gold category grid. Stijn Vatens will start on pole position for the silver category, with Paul Williams in second. Wojciech Kurp, who had the incident towards the end of the last race, is third. And the pole sitter from the previous race, Alan McCain, will start fourth. Nigel Stock, fifth position from Elwyn Sykes in sixth. Sean Shute, seventh from Quinten Klumpert. Zara McGuinness, 9th from Ryan Blackwell. Stephen Fry, who was third in the previous race, will start 11th. Matthew Addy, 12th. And Jeffrey Kruger, 13th. From 14th and 15th, who didn't complete enough laps in the previous race, Jopi Siemens and Rob Savage. In the bronze category, starting on the pole position will be Yaroslav Pataluk, with Lewis Mason, who was the feature race winner last week, starting second. Stephen de Gravelia in third position from Mike Reedner in fourth. Matt Gatter will start fifth from Andy Rooney in sixth. Michael McCarthy, seventh from Andrew Allen, who was the pole sitter in the sprint race, eighth. Joseph Wright, ninth. Sammy Araba in 10th from Wesley Lewin and Kurt Van Honecker in 11th and 12th. 13th and 14th is Jochen Seeger and Jonas Anderson. Shamoy Samuel is in 15th from Leslie Brazil. Josh Downing in 17th from Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. And championship leader, sprint race winner, Gabriel Papaconstantino, will start at the back of the bronze category grid. This is the Next Gen Racing GT3 Season 9 Round 2 feature race at Interlagos. We're about to get underway. Gaz Williams, the host of the series, will lead us to the line in this race. Unfortunate race 1, might have been caught up in the lap 1 incident. And I did say, I have to apologise, I did say we were going to look at that lap 1 incident, and then I went for the interval, so I do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try not to do that in the future. But it was a very frantic first race, and we'll see how race 2 gets on here. are split up a little bit more. They are battling within their categories, and inter-category battles are less so in this race. They do happen, but they are less so, as we mentioned. You've got 50 drivers out there. 2 drivers haven't made it to the grid though, so it looks like it's going to be 48 starting this race from the track. Still a big grid. So the way this works, as I mentioned just a moment ago, the gold category grid will start, and then about 5 to 10 seconds later the silvers will be instructed to go, and then about 5 to 10 seconds after that the bronze category will be instructed to go. Gaz Williams will lead us to the line. We'll start this race, the feature race, a 1 hour feature race. When that happens, drivers have to hold pace car pace until the lights go out. Pace car peels off. We're heading towards the start finish line. And now we'll go. Drivers ducking out already. A foot flat to the floor. And into turn number 1 goes Gaz Williams with Jason Raff on the outside. Jesse Payne Wilkins trying to make the move there. And there is a spin already. And that was Brandon Vincent Squibb. Oh, and the car off. That's Phil McDougall there. But we will switch to the silver category there away. Paul Williams with a good start to this race. And Wojciech Kurp straight to the inside from the second row. Through he goes. It was a bad start for Stein Vatens by the looks of it. But Paul Williams might be back in front here. Wojciech Kurp taking a wide berth around that corner. And everyone seems to be through safely in the silver category at the moment. And this is the bronze category. Away they go. Jaroslav Patluk leads us into turn number 1 with Lewis Mason behind. Wide there, by the looks of it, is Sammy Arabo. And there's a spin on the inside. That's Leslie Brazil off the track. But we'll be able to rejoin the track with no damage. And we'll catch up to the back of the pack. Not ideal to fall back in the pack, but hasn't ended the race. Now, Stephan Wessels, big opportunity here for a big result in this race. Got second in the feature race last time out at Mexico. But he's up to second already in this race with 5 places gained. Wojciech Kurp will want to redeem himself for that previous race. So will Alan McCain. We have got drama in the bronze category. Stevens Grevelius facing the wrong way, and that off was some of the bronze category drivers, quite a few of them. Papa Constantino's been collected in that as well. They're going to all try and continue, but it has shuffled up the bronze category a little bit here. Pataluk still leads, and Andrew Allen's up many places to second place already in the bronze category. And these are some of the drivers that were collected in that. They're all gaggled together here. Leslie Brazil is able to get his way back through a little bit here by the looks of it. Let's look at this heading into Youngcow. 3 wide again as they get onto the main straight. Stephen de Gravelia not quite able to complete it to the inside. But we complete lap number 1. Gaz Williams with a big lead, 1.7 seconds from Stephan Wessels at the moment. And our winners from race 1, William Guthrie is 13th. McCluskey is up to 10th, past Langford. He's in front of him. Silver category, however, Paul Williams, who's been looking quick all night, is first. Side by side, though, for second place between Wojciech Kurp and Alan McCain. Stein Vatens behind them as well. Let's see if Alan McCain can get the undercut and the inside for the next corner, which Kurp covers off. Nigel Stock there, 5th place. He was collected by Wojciech Kurp in the last race. He'll want a bit more points back in this race. Nigel Stock is challenging Stein Vatens there, and he'll have the inside for the next corner. Vatens provides the room, and Stock will have the inside for the next corner, and that is up to 4th place by the looks of it for Nigel Stock. End of lap 2. Stephan Wessels with the fastest lap of the race, half a second quicker than Gaz Williams. Benji McCluskey still finding his way through. William Guthrie at the tail of that 3 Way battle for 10th there between McCluskey, Langford and Guthrie, the top three of the previous race. We've got the bronze category. There's a car facing the wrong way. That's Andrew Allen, and he reverses off the track. I'm glad someone's done that tonight. And that is a lot of places lost for Andrew Allen. What was looking like very good night potentially from qualifying has just gone miserable after miserable as the night is wore on. Passaluk still leads from Van Honecker. And Jonas Anderson in 4th. Ruiz Hernandez has had a really good start to this race, up to 4th in category. Gaz Williams leads this race in golds, being caught though by Stephan Wessels. Stephan Wessels has got a great opportunity here to secure a feature race win if he can get past Gaz Williams. Gaz Williams is... I remember years ago having ferocious battles with Gaz Williams, and they're always great. Gaz is a fighter on the track, so it will not be easy for Steph Wessels. Back to this silver category battle. Wojciech Kurp has still got Alan McCain behind. Alan McCain might be getting a little bit of backup shortly from Nigel Stock. A black flag for Leslie Brazil down in 7th place, I can see there. That might be something that needs to be served in the pits. We'll come back to that shortly if we can. I just want to keep an eye on this battle for Silver's 2nd place. No move yet from Alan McCain, but Jeffrey Kruger, the race 1 winner, fastest lap of the race. Got a potential battle for 5th place in the gold category. David Price in the iconic Man Filter DTM livery there. Racing for VCR Virtual Circuit Racing. David Price heads this trail of cars for 5th place, with Klaas Bellin behind. Stephan Wessels is getting closer to Gaz Williams. Let's see what happens on the main straight here. Wessels taking all of the track and more, going well off the curb on the outside. That's the view from Gaz Williams from the rear wing. Both in Mustangs. In fact, the top 3 in gold are Mustangs. You can see on the top of the timing tower. Stephan Wessels, we saw it in race 1 so late on the brakes going into turn 1. And it's a 31.7 for Wessels on that lap. Let's see if the infield is where the damage is being done by Wessels. He's now got to think, well, I've caught him, now I've got to figure out how to pass him, and this is what he'll be doing. He'll be watching intently, finding out where Gaz Williams is weaker than him on the track. Goes a little bit wider there, heading out of turn number 8, does Gaz Williams. Still a black flag by the looks of it for Leslie Brazil, and he'll have to serve that within 3 laps. Otherwise it'll be a disqualification penalty. That looked like a pretty good corner from Gaz Williams, actually. Right, we are going to switch to the bronze category drivers for the moment. It looked like Kurt Van Honecker, something's happened to him, and he's dropped out of 2nd place. Kurt Van Honecker has the green and black livery there. That is Ruiz Hernandez on the inside, and contact's made. Oh, and just about avoided it was Ruiz Hernandez, actually. It was Jonas Anderson who made the contact then. Just stuck in the middle of the track is Kurt Van Honecker. I thought that might have called a safety car. And Jonas Anderson has got a black flag. That might have been a straight penalty for Jonas Anderson by the live race control stewards for that instance. So that will be a drive-through penalty or stop-and-go penalty for Jonas Anderson, and that might have been administered straight away from that incident. Does serve it straight away? No. So that's 2 drivers in bronze category. Both gassed up motorsports cars with black flags, and now Leslie Brazil is serving it because I think this is the last lap where it had to be served. It will be a stop and go penalty in the box. And if you decide to serve it with your pit lane, you have to serve it separately, just like Formula 1 where you can't touch the car. It is a drive-through penalty. It is for Leslie Brazil. And back out on the track. So Jonas Anderson will have one to serve as well, but will continue racing for the time being. Oh, and a dive to the inside, and there's contact again! And into the tyres they go, and more contact and more cars collected. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez is into the wall as well. My word, what is happening out there? Let's get another look at that. Oh, weird. So Jonas Anderson to the inside, wasn't quite to the inside and was cut off a little bit. But then for the next corner, I'm going to let the stewards call that one because, yeah. It just feels like sometimes drivers are trying to squeeze others and others trying to squeeze into gaps that aren't there. It just feels like that tonight at the moment. And Jonas Anderson still has that black flag, will probably have to serve it. And this does mean that Josh Downing benefits with second place, maybe even first place with the black flag coming for Anderson. Moy Samuel in second position, best position so far this season, and Steve de Gravelia recovers to fourth. Did have a spin in it earlier on, in this race, if you remember right. But let's head back to other battles on the track. Nothing moved yet from Wessels. Like I said, Gaz Williams is a fighter, and he will be tough to beat for Wessels. Not much moving from McCluskey, Langford and Guthrie. McCluskey has moved past fellow next-gen driver Gavin Gardner. And this is a Crocodile Cars headed by David Price at the moment. And Paul Williams with a good lead. 1 second lead in the silver category. Wojciech Kurb and Alan McCain haven't yet drawn swords yet for this battle. But Wojciech Kurb was very wide there, and that means Alan McCain is going to get up to the rear of Wojciech Kurb now, and will try and find a way around. Might have to go to the outside. Has that Porsche got enough engine power to get it alongside? We head towards turn number 1. Alan McCain is not able to get it further alongside. Good exit though here. Oh, and wide there goes Kurb. Was that intentional or was that a mistake? Alan McCain not quite to the inside yet, but might be able to outbrake Wojciech Kurb going into turn number 4. Yes, he does. And through he goes into second place. Wojciech Kurb might try and fight back here, but welcoming into this battle may well be Sean Shute. It's Ferradura. He hangs on to it. Sean Shute joins the battle potentially though, and Wojciech Kurb has to worry about Sean Shute behind him, as well as trying to get back that position from Alan McCain. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Stephen de Gravelia versus Chamoy Samuel. Through goes Stephen de Gravelia, but goes off the track. Will have to give that position back, and he does. Samuel's back through into second place. This will allow Josh Downing to potentially pull away here. Great opportunity for him. And also, Wesley Lewin might be coming into this battle as well. Sammy Araba's lurking as well. But it's close here. Stephan Wessels is the closest he has been to Gaz Williams. Might the move happen here going into the Cedar de Lago? No, it won't. Gaz Williams just about covers it off. Very clever movements across the track there, just to make sure that Wessels can't make the move. Wessels just moving to the right there to try and spook Gaz Williams a little bit. Try and force Gaz into a mistake and a reaction. Oh, but a big dive there to the inside from Wessels. We'll have the outside for the next corner if he can power it around the outside here. No, Gaz Williams might be able to cover it off here, and he does. And we'll hold the inside for the hairpin. Well, this is looking like a pretty good battle at the moment between these two. Gaz Williams will try and hold up Stephan Wessels as much as he can to try and help out his teammate Benji McCluskey, who's in 8th right now. No movement yet from Stephan Wessels. Probably not close enough to make a move unless he goes for the diving move into turn 1. He is close here, and Gaz Williams is having to defend. Big slipstream from Stephan Wessels into turn 1. Gaz Williams has held the inside, and Wessels not able to make the move there. What about the next corner? It looks like Gaz Williams might have this covered right now. Side by side between Kruger and Steinvaten, 6th and 7th. Kruger being the race 1 winner. And Kruger, if the momentum continues here, moves up the order more. This will be a very commanding championship lead for Kruger early on in this season. Last season I had Kruger down as one of the favourites to win the silver category. Word to be. Sean Shoot versus Wojciech Kurp. Shoot has got alongside. Does break later, but he's on the outside here. Has to be careful as we've seen cars understeer into one another, but a return diving move. Contact there, but he had to get out of it to prevent a spin, and that meant that Nigel Stock was able to catch right back up to these two battling. Now it's a 5-way battle for this position, and a very late break into the rear of Wojciech Kurp goes Sean Shoot, and Sean will lose all them positions there from a big nudge to the rear from Sean. Oh, and Steinvaten has had contact as well. Off the track he goes. We didn't quite see that. We didn't get a good enough angle of it. So let's see what happens to Wojciech Kurp on recovery at that instant. It seems to be here that's just plaguing Wojciech Kurp tonight. That was undeniably a big hit at the rear there, rather unfair for Wojciech Kurp. But what happens next? Oh, it's hard to tell. It is hard to tell if Wojciech Kurp understeered into Vaten's, or if Vaten's turned into Kurp. It's very hard to tell from that angle, actually. So we'll leave that one for the professionals, shall we? So that does shake up silver category a little bit. Shoot is in 3rd place. Stock up to 4th. Kruger up to 5th. Might make a move here on Nigel Stock, not to be on the end of this straight, but something might be coming. Bronze category, we're back to this, and Samuel and Gravelia are slowly catching up with Josh Downing. Josh Downing being the opening race winner of the season in bronze category, the sprint race at Mexico. Leads this race right now. Under pressure from Jamoy Samuel and Stephen de Gravelia. 3 different teams battling it out for the top 3 here, and 4 if you include CSA Wesley Lewin right now. I'm pretty sure Wesley Lewin was in silver category last season, and now he's moved into bronze, and we have a black flag in the silver category. Sean Shoot, for that instant with Wojciech Kurp, gets the black flag. So the race control are not messing around in this race, and he understeers going into Young Cow there, unless that was an intentional let by. But it's a black flag for Sean Shoot for that instant, and it means it's going to scupper his chances of this race. And like I said, race control are not messing around in this race, and good. It just means that drivers will not get away with such incidents. And Wojciech Kurp is in the pits. Maybe he's got damage. And he's deciding to take a fast repair and an early stop now. Right, and we have missed it. I do apologise for that. There's a lot going on. But Stephan Wessels has made his way past Gaz Williams for the lead of the gold category. Here's how it got done. And here's turn 1. I did think it was going to come here. And he throws the dummy. Late on the brakes to the inside he goes. Gaz Williams can't do much about that. He does swerve out to try and get a late apex, or late apexes, through the center S to get a big powering exit. But Wessels has it covered here, heading up towards the Cedar del Lago. Gaz Williams is not going to be able to overtake on the outside on this corner. He's given it a go, though. But I think that's move complete for Stephan Wessels, and now the lead of the race. Meanwhile, in silver category, Alan McCain is rocketing up towards Paul Williams, and we've seen Alan McCain was fastest in qualifying in silvers, fastest lap as well in the sprint race, I might add, so he is the fastest silver out there, and is proving it right now. He's gaining on Paul Williams, and Paul Williams, I can't actually remember the last time he won a race in silvers. That's not a reflection on him at all, it's just he hasn't won a race, as far as I've seen. Tonight is a big opportunity for that. Jeffrey Kruger has made a dive for third place on Nigel Stock. Stock's fighting back, but Kruger has probably got the better line from the next corner. And he's made it through, but Stock is going to fight back here, trying to get the slipstream. Kruger has it covered on the inside. To the outside will go Nigel Stock. Similar to what we saw between Wessels and Gaz Williams just a moment ago. Can Stock respond here, though? It's not looking like it. So we'll switch over to bronze category, because look at this. This is Stephen de Grevelier right behind Jamoy Samuel, and they've got Phil McDougall trying to make his way back through the pack behind, and look in 5th place as well. Andrew Allen is back on the comeback following the spin on the first lap, fastest lap of the race, and 5th right now, not far off top spot either, so it's still on for Andrew Allen. Real key battles going on out there. We've also got a battle for 3rd place brewing. Adam Wilson Weir, who just season on season just gets better and better. Looking for a podium right now by the looks of it in the gold category. And has got Jason Raff between himself and that right now. Jason Raff goes straight to defend the inside. Seems to be the CSA move to defend the inside going up towards Cedar Delago. We've seen it 3 consecutive times as we've watched this corner. But Adam Wilson Weir, the Type 2 racing team, the Season 7 bronze category champion, is going for 3rd in gold right now in this race. There's a car slow on the inside there. That looks like Sammy Ereber getting well out of the way there, which is good. Yet from Adam Wilson Weir has to try and plan this, but also has to worry about Klaas Vellen behind in the Corvette. And McCain still gaining on Paul Williams in silver category. We're seeing a nice side-by-side here between Sarah McGuinness and Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry did make it alongside for the outside of Ferradura, but Aaron McGuinness has the better line and got it back through. This is the battle for 7th in silver category. Meanwhile, this is Benji McCluskey on the move again. He's made his way past Matthew Cheverton at turn 1. And William Guthrie is trying to follow him through. William Guthrie knows he's got to make up championship points, and he knows he's got to beat Benji McCluskey to do that. He got race 1. But race 2 he's got to try. But Matthew Cheverton is not going to get out of the way. Cheverton is one of the fiercest racers out there. He doesn't give up on any battle. Guthrie's got it alongside, but probably not the best side to try the move at Ferradura. He's giving it a go anyway. But will he go for the undercut and then the move for the next corner? Cheverton's trying to cover it off, and Guthrie can't make the move. He's got to keep an eye on Gavin Gardner and Harry Langford behind him as well. But all this will frustrate William Guthrie as McCluskey is pulling away ahead already. But there goes Guthrie to the inside of Matthew Cheverton. Cheverton giving very little room, but we'll have the inside for the next corner. What about Young Cow? Is Guthrie going to go for anything? No, he sticks to the outside. And now he'll try the undercut. Oh, and it snaps out of shape. And there we go. There goes Harry Langford trying to pounce. And Gardner could not quite capitalise on it, but Langford could. I don't think Langford has had enough out of the corner to be able to go for it. Guthrie's recovered it. And McCluskey is already pulling away here. We're about 10 minutes away from the pit stops coming up, unless some drivers pull the trigger soon. Now something has happened to Stephen de Gravelia. He's dropped down the order in the bronze category. Let's see if we can find out what's happened. Oh dear, contact between Cheverton and Guthrie. Oh, that was a little bit of an arm coming through from Guthrie, and Cheverton trying to close it off, but it didn't quite happen. Through goes Guthrie on Matt Cheverton then. Let's just have another look at that, just to get a better angle. Well, that was a rather forceful move. That was, I need to get after Benji McCluskey, and that's a spin from Stephen de Gravelia from third place. Too much curb on the outside, and it spins him round, and it's going to drop him down well down the order. And there are drivers pitting already. Stephen Fry and Stephen de Gravelia have gone into the pits now. Some drivers will call an early stop now to try and get the undercut on other drivers. Now Alan McCain might be quicker than Paul Williams, but he might be sitting here trying to save fuel, because you can do that at Interlagos. Lots of long straights, and you can use the slipstream to get up to the 6th gear earlier and coast a little bit, which helps save fuel, and therefore you go longer in the race and you're less time in the box. That's a tactic that might be used here. Andrew Allen has had a storming comeback here. He's up to 4th place, challenging 3rd now. Oh, and we've got to go to gold category. That was a swap of places from Adam Wilson-Weir on Jason Raff. And they were side by side down the back straight. Was that round the outside from Adam Wilson-Weir? No, it wasn't. It was an understeer from Jason Raff and an undercut move from Adam Wilson-Weir. Textbook, brilliant undercut move. Into the podium places goes Wilson-Weir. Still sporting the Lamborghini car like he did last season. And it's good to see the Lamborghini back on song. And there we go. Look at that. Drama in the gold category. William Guthrie with that move from him on Matthew Cheverton gets him a black flag, and a drive-through penalty is going to be for William Guthrie. The bad luck of the feature race last week. This week, it will be a penalty to put him further down the order. And I think he might well be serving that now. Yes, he is. And there are other drivers in the pits as well. Poor Langford, very late on the brakes there. Also in the pits is Gardner, Cheverton, Jesse Payne-Wilkins, George Blaster. And straight back out is William Guthrie. He served his drive-through, and that's the black flag cleared. And we are down to crawling pace. So there we go. That would have helped William Guthrie, actually. He served that drive-through penalty. And we're at full course caution. Now, what's the reason for the full course caution? There's drivers in the pits who will not lose much time from this full course caution. And now we're back on the throttle. There's drivers back out on the track who've had their pit stop. This might be a big, big moment for them, as they've lost less time in the pits. Now, it was probably too little too late for the likes of Paul Williams here. But those gold drivers who are in the pits, Langford, Gardner, Cheverton and Plaster, they might have struck gold there. No pun intended there. Let's see what happens, because that might be the big money move. Alan McCain leads, and that is because Paul Williams is in the pits, serving his what? Well, not serving, taking his one pit stop. And Alan McCain will go on longer, probably because he saved more fuel. I'm very interested to keep an eye on this gold category now, because Langford's come out, and so has Gardner and Cheverton. They're back out on the track, and they haven't lost many positions overall. So this is huge. Whereas we saw Wessels' potential to win this race, that might not be the case right now. Through no fault of his own. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Gaz Williams is in the pits now. Jason Raff. But look at this. Harry Langford already with stop served, is going to cruise past the drivers who were 2 and 3 in this race. There they go. Big money move, as I mentioned. This is going to get very interesting. Now, Benji McCluskey making a move on Jack Pittas for 4th place. McCluskey might have seen what happened and he might be putting the hammer down right now. He's had the reward somewhat of Guthrie getting the drive-through penalty, but he might have seen that Langford might benefit from that full-course yellow pit stop from Langford. And they were the only drivers, those gold drivers, that would have benefited from it. Maybe Paul Williams might have got the back end of that full-course yellow and saved some time when he came into the pits. Maybe he would have as well. We'll see when Alan McCain eventually comes into the pits. Josh Downing, 1st place in bronze category. He's having a really good race here. And the other bronze category drivers, they've scattered about a little bit here. We've got Lewis Mason and Shamoy Samuel in the pits. Mason's back out on track. Samuel's still in the box. Samuel was 2nd place until then. Andy Rooney didn't have such a good race 1, but race 2 looks to be recovering here from the back of the grid up to 2nd here. Leslie Brazil, a black flag and a spin at the start of the race. Currently 3rd. Now it's yet to be confirmed with pit stops, of course. Oh, we got another full-course caution, and other drivers are going to benefit from this as well. That's Stephan Wessels, Adam Wilson-Weir, Benji McCluskey. Maybe they haven't saved quite enough time, though, because look, Langford's here. And Langford has ended up ahead of previous race leader Stephan Wessels. And there's only one more gold category driver up ahead who needs to pit, and that's Klaas Vellen. And now we're back on the throttle. Away they go again. Langford might be our new net race leader. And Stephan Wessels is back here. McCluskey's here, so McCluskey has gained rapidly on Stephan Wessels through. Oh no, he's gone off the track! What's happened there to Benji McCluskey into the wall? What on earth has happened there? That's Guthrie behind. Oh, is it Jesse Payne? Yeah, Jesse Payne Wilkins. Oh, he loses it on the curb. Oh my word, the drama we've had tonight. So he's down to 10th now, is Benji McCluskey. That kind of gets Wessels out of the woods a little bit with him. And look at all these cars scurrying through now. There's lots of lapped cars amongst lead lap drivers now. But here is Langford, and Klaas Vellen is in the pits. Langford is going to cruise by and take the lead of this race. Just mentioning a moment ago, Langford hasn't won many races in this series, but he's always top of the standings and always fighting for the championship. He has done for the last couple of seasons. But this might be a race win for him. Alan McCain is in the pits. The one we need to look out for against Alan McCain is Paul Williams. Here he is, exiting the final corner in the McLaren. But, oh, the drama we've had in this race. Nigel Stock takes back over the lead at Silvers. McCain is still in the box, and I think Paul Williams is going to pass on by. McCain's leaving his box, but he won't get there in time, I think. There goes Paul Williams. He definitely saved some time through that full-course yellow. There's Stein Vatens. He might be able to challenge McCain on the exit of the pits. But there goes Paul Williams. He's not a long way clear of Alan McCain, but he's gained some time anyway. So he has benefited from that. Stein Vatens not quite close enough to Alan McCain to threaten an immediate move heading out the pits. The drama of this race, though. Benji McCluskey spinning just a moment ago. William Guthrie with the penalty. Langford with a full-course yellow pit stop. Paul Williams, a full-course yellow pit stop. the bronze category drivers just don't know what's going on in bronze either. I don't know who's second and who's third in this race in bronze. I'm gonna go with the order we see here, with Lewis Mason second and Andrew Allen third. Josh Downing is just nose out of trouble, just getting on with it here. In one of the only Acuras in the field. In fact, is it the only Acura in the field? Yeah, it is, yeah. So the sprint race winner last time out at Mexico might be on his way to a feature race win right here in Interlagos. It would be a brilliant start to the season for Josh Downing, if he can get that done. Now, Nigel Stock hasn't pitted yet in silver category. Contending with a few gold category drivers here. Phil McDougall inside him. Oh, on 3 wide, going around the Curva to Sol. But Nigel Stock is yet to pit, and Paul Williams is only 7 seconds down the road. And there's Alan McCain right there. Got to try and hunt down Paul Williams again. William Guthrie there in 5th. I don't know if William Guthrie has been in the pits to get his pit stop. Has actually. Yes, I think he has. So I think William Guthrie has managed to recover a 5th place here. For the moment. This has become quite the confusing race in terms of race order. We know that a lot of drivers have benefited hugely from the 4-course yellow, and it's the top 3 in gold. Driver in 2nd in silvers. Guthrie into 5th there. Passing some back markers. Leader of this race though, after all the pit stops, the wild pit stop period we've just seen. Langford in 1st, Gardner in 2nd. This will be one of Gavin Gardner's best results for a very long time. And Matthew Cheverton, who missed last week, is 3rd right now. Stephan Wessels not too far behind. Stephan Wessels had the race in his hands, but now has to fight it back again. Nigel Stock is still out there. Has Nigel Stock pitted? Nigel Stock has. I stand corrected. He might have been one of those drivers that benefited from the 4-course yellow then, that we didn't, and we might not have seen it. So there we go. Nigel Stock is leading this race by 6 seconds. I stand corrected, very corrected from a few laps ago. But wow, this race has been wild. So the leader of the race by 7 seconds in the silver category, Nigel Stock. Alan McCain in 3rd place. This is a great recovery drive from what has been a miserable race 1 for him. And bronze category, Josh Downing has got quite a few drivers in silver between him and his fellow bronze category rivals. And 9 seconds with that time-wise. But Josh Downing will emerge, if it continues as it is right now, he'll emerge as championship leader outright in bronze category. And will start a championship bid, it's got to be said. Lewis Mason. Don't write off Lewis, because Lewis had a very good result in the feature race last time out. And this is looking like a good feature race result as well. Andrew Allen was leading the championship heading into tonight. Was second in the championship heading into tonight. Pole position, it's meant to say, in race 1. 3rd place right here. So these 3, and you could put Papa Constantino in the question as well, are emerging bronze category Italians. So we are 38 minutes through this race. And I have the feeling that we're not yet at the end of the drama. Just a small feeling. The weirdest thing that would be to happen now is for it to rain, let's be honest. We are at Interlagos, stranger things have happened at this track. So let's have a little rundown of our order here as things calm down a little bit from the confusing pit stop period we had. Harry Langford leads in the gold category from Gavin Gardner in second position and Matt Cheverton in third. He is battling there with Stephan Wessels, so the podium position in disagreement between these drivers. We'll see who gets that bronze silverware out of these two, or if indeed William Guthrie can join in and claim that. Race 1 winner Benji McCluskey had a spin earlier on, rear-ended the wall, which means he's probably nursing a lot of damage there, is 13th. Meanwhile, in the silver category, Nigel Stock benefited from a four-course yellow, and Nigel Stock, after last week, he wasn't feeling too happy about his race, his night, and himself. He was a little bit down in the dumps, I will tell you. This will cheer him right up. First place here. Just under 7 seconds ahead of Paul Williams. Paul Williams has had a good night. He's been quick tonight. He was quick in qualifying, as we saw. As we see the move there from Wessels. Well, we did see it. We'll get a replay of it. Wessels on Cheverton, and we'll go back to Paul Williams in just a moment. And it looks like an inside move from Wessels. It is. Yeah, as we mentioned, Paul Williams has been quick tonight, and this will be a good result for him. And he's got Alan McCain catching up towards. He's third place at the moment, a recovery from the disappointing race 1 for him. And then moving on to bronze category, Josh Downing in first position for the bronze category, 7.5 seconds clear of Lewis Mason, who he himself is 8 seconds clear of Andrew Allen in third, 5 seconds clear of race 1 winner Gabriele Papaconstantino. Our race 1 winner from silver category, Jeffrey Kruger, is 7th position at the moment. By the looks of it, hasn't benefited from the pit stops that came earlier on. It's fallen foul to them. Wojciech Kurp, despite the incidents that he's had throughout the night, 6th place right now on a bit of a recovery drive. But we should also mention Matthew Addy has had a strong night tonight as well. 5th position right now in this feature race, was 2nd in the sprint race. So this has been good for Matthew Addy. This might well be a night where Matthew Addy finds himself a lot closer to the lead of the championship with the results happening right here. And so Wojciech Kurp and Jeffrey Kruger have got probably a bigger stake in that lead of the championship right now, but we'll see what happens for the remainder of this race, and we'll see what happens when the championship standings are published after the race. Now, Steph Wessels is up into third place. William Guthrie all over Matt Cheverton. These two have met previously, and that resulted in William Guthrie getting a black flag, a drive-through penalty. You also have, by the looks of it, a battle in the bronze category. Off the track goes Jochen Seeger, and he collects Steven de Grevelier. And that will be a front nose missing for Steven de Grevelier. And Jochen Seeger, well, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Let's get a replay, see if we can see what happened. So this is Jochen Seeger on the outside of Steven de Grevelier. Something happens to Seeger here. He loses it somehow. On the curb too much. Yep, and the car goes sideways. Over the grass, straight in front of de Grevelier. Jamal Samuel was doing well at the start of this race. Something might have happened to him. Down in 8th place in bronze category. But we're heading towards the final quarter of this race now. Langford with a commanding lead of 3 seconds now from Gavin Gardner. And Gavin Gardner needs to worry about Stephan Wessels, who's going to be hammering in the lap times right now to try and catch up. And William Guthrie is going to be hammered down to try and get a podium position out of this race. Has got past Matt Cheverton. Let's see if I can find the replay for that. Here it is. Oh my word. I've got a feeling these two don't like each other. Door-to-door contact there, heading along the main straight. Guthrie's through. Let's see if we can see how that emerged, actually. So this is the start of that battle. Guthrie goes to the inside. I get a feeling they're going to be side by side all the way until turn 1 here. Fights back at Young Cow here. Then they head down the main straight side by side. Cheverton just keeps it locked to the inside. He's able to get some ground back on William Guthrie. He did have a better exit. And there we go. This is where we saw the original replay. Door to door there. And then the rest is history, as we saw. William Guthrie gets past that turn 2 here. And that puts him into 4th place. Meanwhile, silver category, there's still a potential battle that could emerge for 2nd place here between Paul Williams and Alan McCain. Some very, no offence to them, very unexpected winners from this race have emerged. It all has come from the pit stops, falling under the cautions. And not many battles out on the track right now, so drivers are settled in a little bit now. It's all calmed down a little bit. Adam Wilson-Weir has dropped a few places here. He's down to 7th. He was looking at a podium earlier on. And he's having a good start to the season, it must be said. And a few seasons ago, we were so used to seeing Adam Wilson-Weir at the top of the standings in bronze anyway, and heading straight up to gold category. A very tall order, and he did very well last season. He finished top 10 in the championship. And this season, he's been consistently in the top 10 in each race again. Is him behind Jack Pittas right now. Teammate, the Quatermass drivers of last season moving over to Type 2 racing for this season. Quite a shame to see Quatermass not continuing. They were one of those teams that were a bit of a staple in the Next Gen Racing series, I felt. It's a bit of a shame to see him non-exist now, but we do have a strong contingent of drivers from other teams, including Type 2 Racing that have 4 teams in this championship. We also have Gaslight Motorsports, who have 3 teams in this championship. CSA have 2 teams in this championship. Now William Guthrie is within a second of Stephan Wessels, so he is catching up to the South African in the Ford Mustang for CSA, and this could be a pretty big battle for 3rd place we might be seeing soon, with over 12 minutes to go. That will mean quite a few laps for William Guthrie and Steph Wessels to battle it out. We've also got Alan McCain gaining on Paul Williams still. He's under a second behind Paul Williams now. Gaining. Stephan Wessels was very wide off the track just then. But probably one of the crazier races of the season. So far we've only had 4 races, but our 5th race is coming up next week, and it is a singular race next week. It is a 2-hour endurance at Road America next week. Join us live on NXTGEN Racing TV, YouTube and Facebook for that 2-hour race on the 2nd of April. Looking forward to racing at Road America again. It is a very underrated track. I love watching it in the IndyCar series, and I loved watching it in this series a couple of seasons ago. I think it was season 7 it featured last time. Good range of corners on that track, good high-speed sections as well. And it's an endurance round as well, which means it all gets very, very tactical. Talking about IndyCar, that's on this weekend, isn't it, at Barber Motorsports Park? That's a track that would be interesting to see in this series. Now, it's a very narrow and twisty, cornery kind of track. Barber might be interesting. And William Guthrie is close now to Stephan Wessels. Wessels is a little bit on the back foot there, trying to get by the back marker of Papa Constantino, who was very close to the rear of William Guthrie just then. Guthrie got through. That is Paul Williams. No, it wasn't Paul Williams. I think it was. Getting out of the way then was Jochen Siegert. This is the battle for third in gold category. You've also got the silver category battle for second and third to keep an eye on as well. By the looks of it, Lewis Mason has dropped down to 4th place in the bronze category. It's hard to identify what's happened to. He went into the pits. It was a very short stop. It might have been a drive-through penalty, in fact, for Lewis Mason. He was only in there for 10 seconds. So that drops him down to 4th place. It does reward Andrew Allen and Papa Constantino with higher positions. And Papa Constantino back on the podium following his win in race 1. So this is big points out of round 2 for him. Guthrie is close to Wessels on the track here. And you'll see between all these top tier drivers how at this point when they're in a battle like this, they start to take different lines to one another. You can see there Wessels is trying to take lines where he's using all of the track, especially under acceleration out of the corner, and that's because he's trying to get it away from William Guthrie. He's trying to use every bit of track and every bit of throttle that he can use, whereas William Guthrie will be taking more shallow lines out of the corner because he has the upper hand on Wessels, and he will be trying to get more straight lined powering exits. As we see into the pits is Josh Downing. Is this a splash and dash? By the looks of it, it is. Okay, so this really throws things up in the air. Andrew Allen might be about to come through here to take the lead of the race, and he does. As Josh Downing's in the pits. Not enough fuel potentially at the stop. This race continues to deliver. Through goes Allen and Papa Constantino into 1st and 2nd. Andrew Allen, a while ago, would not have even dreamt this happening in this race at this point. But there we go, he's in the lead. And the driver who was pole position at the start of the night, it did not happen in the sprint race, was caught up in an instant in lap 1. Now gets a taste of victory potentially. Meanwhile, back in the silver category, this is side by side between Alan McCain and Paul Williams, heading into turn number 1. And not to be for Alan McCain on this one, but we'll try again soon, maybe. He's got close enough to threaten the moves now. They have gained on Nigel Stock a little bit. They're within 4 seconds of Nigel Stock. But Nigel might be just settling in to see this victory through. And up there in the gold category. We just didn't catch it. But Guthrie and Wessels have swapped places. We'll continue with this to see if there's a fight back from Stephan Wessels. And look at William Guthrie just absolutely guarding it. We will see the initial move in a sec. Oh, look at Wessels. He swaps to the inside. What a move from Wessels. He throws the dummy and he throws it to the inside and he's back through. But look at Guthrie power it through turn number 2. He's going to try and get it outside of 3 here. We'll swap over to the inside, but Wessels guards the inside as we thought he would. We haven't even gone to the replay to see the initial move yet. They're side by side. Up into to see the Interlagos. Guthrie on the outside. Can he power it out? Plenty of room given between the two of them. Through 5. Guthrie has the inside for the next 2 corners now, so this might be back in the hands of Guthrie. Lovely battling, and yeah, I've just been corrected. Lewis Mason needed fuel. Yep, just like Josh Downing. And Nigel Stock has gone into the pits as well. He didn't get enough fuel, so he's back out, and he's in 5th place now. So that means Paul Williams has got the lead back in the silvers. Let's just go back to that move from William Guthrie to kickstart all of that. We've got a battle for silver category to watch here. Oh, nice undercut move, and then into Young Cow. We haven't seen many moves at Young Cow today, but that's what started it all off between them two, and it looks like Guthrie might have it under control right now. But we do have a battle for silver category to keep an eye on. Williams and McCain. We also have bronze category. Papa Constantino has caught up to Andrew Allen somehow. And it's game on for all of these. Can Papa Constantino get 2 wins tonight from 2 races? There's 4 minutes remaining in this race. We'll have about 3 laps. Can he get it done? Andrew Allen hasn't had a race win yet this season. And we've had Lewis Mason, Josh Downing, and Gabriel Papaconstantino, but not Andrew Allen. In fact, every category has not had a repeat winner yet this season. Papaconstantino could be the first to do that. Moves yet. Meanwhile, silver category, no movements from them just yet. Paul Williams, I haven't seen him yet win a race in silver category when I've been commentating on this championship. This will be a first for him for a very long time, if the first time ever. I'm not entirely sure on the record of that for him, but this will be a big, big victory for him. Alan McCain with a good exit from the hairpin there. Keeps it wide round turn 11. Alan McCain himself, he's been caught up in incidents. He's had a lot of bad luck so far this season. He'll feel he wants and needs the win at this point as well. Both of them are desperate for it. 2.5 minutes to go. These two are close as they head through the infield around Pinarino now. Such fine margins. 2 minutes to go in this race. I assume soon the white flag will be coming out for the drivers. Harry Langford. No, he'll have 2 more to go. So everyone will have at least 2 more laps. And Langford, well, he'll be elated with what's happened in this race, but equally with that, he's had to hang on to this lead as well. And he's got another win under his belt in gold category with the way things are looking right now. So close by margins. They're all pushing desperately now to keep their positions or gain the positions. A mistake from Andrew Allen there. He wiggled across the curb and the car bottomed out there, and that means Papa Constantino is so close now, but has to go to the outside. Can he undercut to the inside for the next corner? He's going to go for it. Oh, he backs out of it. He's got his teammate behind him, by the way. That is Matt Cheverton. So Matt Cheverton might be in his ear on Discord, helping him out here. A wise head of Matthew Cheverton guiding his way, helping his teammate out. Alan McCain and Paul Williams have got a driver ahead of them. Oh, and a mistake from Paul Williams. Here comes Alan McCain. He is similar to Andrew Allen and Papa Constantino just a moment ago. Not to be. Paul Williams guards in the inside. That was a mistake that nearly cost the victory there for Paul Williams. Meanwhile, Gavin Gardner is being caught by William Guthrie. William Guthrie is still going for second place in this race and might have enough time to try that. Langford will be on his last lap right now, on his way to victory. His first victory of the season. So close between these two going into Young Cow. They'll start their final lap next. McCain's got a very good run. And also, we've got so close here also between Papa Constantino and Andrew Allen. I don't think a move's going to come from them just yet. We're going to keep an eye on McCain for this moment. Williams guards the inside as the white flag waves to them. Into turn one. McCain's got the outside. Can he hold it for the center S2? He can. They're side by side going through turn number 3. Dead even as they get onto the straight, but Alan McCain actually has a bit more acceleration out of the corner. But the inside's held by Paul Williams right now. They're so close going into the corner. Paul Williams has broke late enough. He might have got it back through here. Yeah, Alan McCain tucked back in behind. But we have to switch to our winner, because Harry Langford has won this gold category race here at Interlagos with a brilliant timed pit stop to secure the win. Gavin Gardner takes second place, and something's happened in bronze category. We're going to have to go to that shortly. Gavin Gardner takes second position, just holds off William Guthrie. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, crossing the line there is Gabriel Papaconstantino to win the bronze category. Something's happened there to Andrew Allen. He's dropped out, and Lewis Mason takes second position, Josh Down in third place. Meanwhile, silver category, they're heading out the final corner now. Paul Williams sees a bad exit from the corner. Alan McCain's going to get to the inside. It's going to be side by side as they get to the line. I think Alan McCain might well be able to get this in front. Yes, he does. Alan McCain takes it on the final corner. Final straight. McCain wins the silver category. Second is Paul Williams, and Stein Vatens comes through in third. Now, something's happened in the bronze category. Andrew Allen has dropped to fifth. Something's happened to him. Here is what might have happened. Allen and Papaconstantino side by side just then. Big dive to the inside from Papaconstantino, and round goes Allen. Quarter panel hit from Papaconstantino there. It sends Allen round. Ooh. Well. And the drama continues. But undeniably, our winner of this race outright in the gold category is Harry Langford. And a brilliant final corner, final straight battle between Alan McCain and Paul Williams. A brilliant battle between them two at the end of the race. It is McCain who gets it in the end, and by the looks of it, by 26 thousandth of a second. One of the closest finishes of a next-gen race that I have seen. And our provisional, I'm going to say it, provisional winner of bronze category, Gabriel Papaconstantino. For the time being, a double winning category for him. So let's just get another look at that final showdown between Alan McCain and Paul Williams. Now this is a bit too early on for that. I have to go a little bit later. Found it. So there we go. I'll tell you what, let's go a little bit further back than that. Into the final corner. Oh, just washes out. I think Paul Williams just put his foot down too hard, too early, heading out of that corner. And he just washed him out too wide. And Alan McCain had a much straighter and tighter exit from the corner. He was able to get it straight to the inside, and there was nothing Paul Williams could do from that moment. There we go. We'll just get another. We'll get a pull shot of that coming across the line, just so we can see how close that really was. But what a race we've had. We've had people getting fuel wrong. We've had people pitting under full course caution. Full course yellow, shall I say. There we go. That is how close the end of the silver category finish was. What an unbelievable end to that race. Drama all over the field. And let's just get our provisional race results on the screen now. And we'll start off with the gold category first and foremost. Harry Langford takes the win in the gold category, and how that happened, he pitted rather cleverly when the full course yellow was called, and he was able to keep the lead and the victory from then on. Gavin Gardner with one of his best results in the series for a very long time, second place for him, and William Guthrie, a drive-through penalty in that race, but a brilliant recovery as we see him reversing up the track right now, rather aptly. Third place for William Guthrie in that race. Stephan Wessels, fourth position, was looking good for him for a long time in that race, but a bit of luck has played him there. Matt Cheverton in fifth position with Jack Pittas in sixth, Adam Wilson-Weir in seventh with George Plaster in eighth, Klaas Vellen in ninth, and rounding off the top 10 is Jesse Payne-Wilkins. Gaz Williams led a lot of that race, but has ended up 11th somehow, not sure how. Brandon Vincent Squibb in 12th position with Jason Raff in 13th, Benji McCluskey in 14th. He did bottom out heading out of a corner and spun it, and the rear end hit the wall, and I think he was nursing damage from then on. 14th for him. Phil McDougall 15th, and 16th just outside the points was David Price. Over to silver category now, and a very close finish in the end. It was 26 thousandths of a second crossing the line just then. Alan McCain, first position ahead of Paul Williams. So it is the fourth different winner in silver category this season, and we've had four different winners in gold category as well this season, just to point out. Paul Williams, second position, as we mentioned, and in third place, Stein Vatens, his first podium, I think, in the silver category this season. Matthew Addy, fourth position. Good start to the season for Matthew Addy, I must add. Nigel Stock, fifth position from Wojciech Kerp in sixth. Jeffrey Kruger, seventh, and Stephen Fry in eighth. Quinten Klumpert, a good debut. Ninth place for him in the feature race with Ryan Blackwell in 10th. Sean Shute, 11th from Zara McGuinness in 12th. Elwin Sykes, in 13th, Robert Savage in 14th, and a DNF for Jopi Siemens. Bronze category. Gabriel Papaconstantino wins the race. In dramatic circumstances, it must be added, with the final lap battle between him and Andrew Allen, the aforementioned, finishing 5th. Lewis Mason finishes 2nd, with Joshua Downing in 3rd position. Andy Rooney in 4th position, with Andrew Allen in 5th. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 6th position from Chamoy Samuel in 7th. Stephen de Gravelia 8th from Jonas Anderson. And rounding off the top 10 is Joseph Wright. Matt Gatter in 11th with Wesley Liu in 12th. Jochen Siegert 13th from Sami Arabert in 14th, Mike Riedner 15th, and Michael McCarthy in 16th. And a DNF by looks at for Jaroslav Pataluk and Leslie Brazil. And I'm just going to see if we have updated points. I think we do. We have updated points. So let's see what the championship situation is now heading out of round 2. So we start with the gold category. Harry Langford now takes the lead of the championship by 11 points with that feature race win. Stephan Wessels, he'll feel pleased that he's hung on to second place there, but he's tied second place with previous championship leader Benji McCluskey. William Guthrie, winner of the sprint race, is in 4th position, and he was tied highest point scorer in that race then. He is now only 2 points behind Stephan Wessels and McCluskey. He will see that as a success tonight, I reckon. Jack Pittas, 5th from George Plaster in 6th position. Adam Wilson-Weir in 7th from Gavin Gardner in 8th. Gaz Williams 9th. And Brendan Vincent Squibb in 10th. Silver category next, and Jeffrey Kruger continues to lead the championship in the silver category by 4 points from Wojciech Kerp. Matthew Addy, a strong, consistent start to the season, is 3rd, only 2 points behind 2nd place. Stephen Fry, also a consistent start this season, is 4th. Tied highest point scorer tonight, Alan McCain, is in 5th position. He picked up a lot of the bonus points tonight, as well as a win in the feature race. Stein Vatens is 6th position from Sean Shute in 7th. Paul Williams is 8th from Nigel Stock in 9th, and Brian Blackie is in 10th. Bronze category now, and Gabriel Papaconstantino is leading the championship by 8 points, with that provisional feature race win and the sprint race win as well to go with it. So a strong point scoring round for now anyway for Gabriel Papaconstantino. Josh Downing loses the lead of the championship and is 2nd now, with Andrew Allen. A good attempt at a win, I would say, tonight, but scores less points, ends up tied 2nd position. No, sorry, 10 points down in 3rd place. Jonas Anderson 4th, with Lewis Mason in 5th. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 6th, and Andy Rooney 7th. Stephen de Gravelli 8th, with Leslie Brazil in 9th, and Joseph Wright in 10th position. And meanwhile, in the teams championship, it's Type 2 Racing Mods who still lead the championship after tonight by 6 points from CSA Team Passup. Ball Tilt V Motorsport move up to 3rd in the championship, 1 point behind 2nd place CSA, and only 1 point behind them is Type 2 Racing Wolf Team with the highest points scoring tonight. And Crest Autosport round off the top 5. There we go. New championship leaders tonight. But let's see if we've got any interviews waiting. We do not have any interviews waiting at the moment, so we'll see if anybody comes along. In fact, we do. We have Matthew Cheverton waiting for us. Matthew does enjoy getting the odd interview every now and again. So what we're going to do is reel the tape back to the start of this race. If we can find the start of this race. And we'll chat to some drivers. In fact, we'll come to Matt Cheverton very shortly, actually. We have got an interview lined up with another driver, and I want to speak to the driver at the source of the drama at the end of the race there. We're going to chat to Gabriel Papaconstantino very, very shortly. Let's just get a recap of what actually happened between Gabriel Papaconstantino and Andrew Allen at the end of that race there. So, this is the move to the inside at Young Cow, and it's sent around Andrew Allen. In slow-mo, look at it, just to kind of see what happened, and then we'll talk to Papaconstantino about it. We will replay it as we chat to Gabriel. To the inside. Oh, there's many an argument that could be had about that, and I'm not going to have them here. But let's just go back a few laps while we chat to Papaconstantino in just a moment's time. Into the comms booth. Joined with us is Gabriel Papaconstantino, our sprint race winner and our feature race winner for the time being anyway. Gabriel, welcome to the comms booth. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, thank you, Alex. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Loving it after that race. So let's get straight to it, Gabriel. We saw a little bit of an incident at the end of the race there. Just tell us from your point of view, what happened?
Yeah, look, I'll be very honest. I've already apologised to Andy about it. That should have been his win. I completely misjudged my braking going into that corner, and I tried to avoid him, but then inevitably it ended up hitting him and putting out of it. Yeah, I will wholeheartedly, I'll hold my hands up and say that, you know, whatever penalty comes my way, I will gracefully accept it, because that was definitely on my fault on my part there.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Not many drivers actually come out and especially in an interview would just do that, Gabriel. So credit to you. It depends what the stewards say about it at the end of the day, isn't it? It depends what they say about it. I was just saying there's one argument can be had with one argument can be had with another. You've held your hands up and said, look, you misjudged your braking point. You dived it at the inside. Another could say that you were squeezed to the inside as well. Some would have that argument. I'm not saying what's right or wrong there. But look, at the end of the day, it was still a very, very exciting race. And just tell us a little bit about how your race went, because at one point it wasn't looking so rosy for the win, I suppose. And eventually you're there fighting for the lead.
Yeah, it was a bit of a back and forth kind of race. Of course, at the start there was an incident, of course, lap 1 muddle up that usually is what the case is normally in any race that you do, and I unfortunately got involved in that, and then got given a black flag. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm sure there's good reason for it. Had to serve that, and then came out. I think I was right at the back, but yeah, I mean, I just got my head down. There's no point in crying over spilled milk, so just put your head down and get through it, and somehow managed to creep my way back up. Made a few passes, kept it as clean as I could, tried to stay on the right strategy, and yeah, I mean, I'll be very honest with you, as I was driving I had no idea where I was until at one point Matt Cheverton did point out to me. He goes, by the way, you know, this battle that you're having right now is for the lead. And I went, oh right, I'll put my foot down then.
We did see Matthew Cheverton behind you when you were going for first place, and I was wondering if Matt was going to kind of try and guide you around that battle sitting behind you. But yeah, that's quite a funny story actually. And you know what? We were watching that thinking, who's leading? Who's actually net leader in this race? It was crazy. But let's talk about the sprint race, because you were the winner of that. Just chat us through how your sprint race went, because lap 1 was a little bit crazy there as well, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It was damage limitation at the start, just trying to stay alive, and got a bit of luck here and there with certain accidents happening when they did, and me being able to avoid them. There was a few brown flag moments, as we like to say in the industry, of just cars facing the wrong way when you're coming out of a corner, blind exit. So yeah, I think just trying to stay alive in that race, and made a few good passes as well, and then just once you're in the lead, just try and keep it clean and keep it ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. You've come out of this round as, I've just got to remind myself, as leader currently of the bronze category championship. There's a bit of a question mark over race 2, the feature race, as we mentioned there. But you know what? Last season you were a bit of a part-timer, and you said you were going to try and attend more rounds this season. What is your plans this season?
Well, this season I'm definitely going to do a lot more rounds. Unfortunately, next week I won't be able to for Easter. I'll be going back home. But from then on in, I am going to be doing each round. I'm tired of the whole bridesmaid, never the bride in the bronze category, so I'm definitely going to put a shift in and do as many, if not all of them, bar one.
Good stuff. I'm glad to hear. Are you putting in a championship bid then?
I'd like to say so, yeah.
Good. Plain and simple. Next week we have got Road America. We haven't raced that track for a while. I'd say it's an underrated track, but what do you think about it next week, with it being an endurance round as well?
I do enjoy Road America, I'll be very honest with you. It's a very good track. It's one of the first tracks I've driven when I got iRacing just about a couple of years ago. So I am fond of it. Now, with these new cars, I haven't driven it yet with these new updates, so we will see how it goes, get some testing done, see what's what.
Good stuff. And lastly, Gab, anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching? There were some people in the chat who were cheering you on.
Yeah, that'd be my mum. So shout out to my mum first off there. Yeah, the guys told me that she was in the YouTube chat as we were racing. So yeah, shout out to my mum and dad back in Cyprus. Shout out to my girlfriend, she gets angry at me when I don't shout her out, so there you go, love, that one's for you. Shout out to the lads in the team, and Matt as well, trying to help me out at the end there. And shout out to the sponsors, Claremont.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Gab, you lead the championship. You won both races tonight at the moment. Well done tonight, and we'll see you next week at Road America.
Cheers, thank you very much. See you, mate.
There we go. And thank you, Mum and Dad of Gab, for watching and commenting. And please do be vocal in the chat, everybody. Let us know your opinions of some of the incidents we have seen in these races. It's been probably one of the races tonight that will probably go down in folklore of Next Gen as one of the most dramatic, I would say. That was crazy tonight, and Gab's one of the first to admit it there, wasn't he? But yeah, fantastic stuff. Let's move on to our next load of interviews. We are going to chat to Matthew Cheverton next, another Aztec racing driver. Now, Matthew Cheverton didn't race last week, headed into this week with no points on the leaderboard, finished 5th in that feature race. So, Matt, welcome back to the comms booth. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Little bit of a croaky voice that might
Okay.
impact tonight's interview, but other than that, pretty good. And a rather half-decent return to the league. Alright, bit of luck involved, but that is just racing.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go back to that moment that you said was luck. So you've got into the high position because of a pit stop during the four-course yellow. Now, we didn't see when it happened, we just knew that it happened, but was it the four-course yellow came out and you decided to pit, or did it come out whilst you were in the pit?
No, that was I fully decided to pick because the full course yellow was coming.
Well, there we go then. You've not luck then. You've decided to do that, so it's not luck. You've done that, and you've made a great choice.
True. I mean, a little bit of perfect timing. I was literally running up the hill towards the line as it came, so a little bit of luck timing involved. But other than that, it's a perfectly cool strategy.
Oh, exactly. But 5th place tonight, and a good welcome back to the series as well. What are your plans this season? Because last season you didn't attend all of the rounds, I think. So what are the plans for this season?
Well, we'll definitely try and do as many rounds as we can. Hopefully the rest of them, I just skip Mexico because I'm not too fond of it and don't own it. Didn't really want to chill out the 15 quid for it, which is all fair game. But we'll just try and do as many rounds as we can. Obviously life's a little bit busy, so if I have to miss one then it is what it is. But yeah, we're just going to turn up, have a bit of fun, have a good scrap. See how well we do being the sole Aston Martin on the grid. But other than that, just have a bit of fun and drive the car.
Now, you mentioned the word scrap. You did have a little bit of a scrap with William Guthrie in that race. I think we might be about to watch it, actually. But, it was a bit of argy-bargy between you two. What was your views on that?
I mean, initially I was sort of doing a bit of hard defending, trying to see if I could keep my spot. I know he's quicker, and I'd argue the driver-car combo of him and his Mercedes versus me and the Aston's a lot quicker. I think he's just a quicker driver than me in general, so I thought I'd still try and fend him off. But yeah, I think that last one might have been maybe a little bit desperate, I'm not too sure. I have to have a proper look back at it, but at the time, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I've raced with him before, and I didn't expect him to do that, but the race director took that matter into it very quickly as I saw it. He got a drive-through that popped up at the top of my screen, so clearly the race director believed it was a little bit egregious.
Maybe. We're just seeing a little bit of argy-bargy between 2-2 on the main straight there, but it was still entertaining. That's all I'll say. I'm the person who's got a comment on the entertainment, and that's all I care about. But we've got Road America coming up next week. If you're racing there, well, are you racing there? And also, what do you reckon of Road America? Because we've raced there before.
I know I should be racing unless something drastic happens, but yeah, I quite like Road America. It's a fairly simple track to learn and master. On the fixed setup, I think it benefits the front engine cars a lot better as well, so it might help the Aston. But I know we had the pre-season test there beforehand, and my pace was alright, but it could have been better. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes really. I think we'll be quite high up on the starting grid because of championship position. So yeah, it's 2 hours, it's a long race, and we'll just see what we can do.
Good stuff. Now, lastly, Matt, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching the broadcast tonight?
Yes, shout out to obviously Team ATR and the affiliated partners for their support. Shout out to anyone who may or may not be watching to support me. I always appreciate it. Shout out to my teammate for getting, well, at the time, doing the double of class wins. I believe in his interview he was a bit honest, but at the moment it's 2 wins, so well done to him. Yeah, and thank you to yourself, Alex, for putting on a phenomenal broadcast.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. Yeah, well done tonight, Matt. Good results tonight, and we'll see you next week at Road America.
Cheers. Have a good evening.
There we go. Yeah, both Aztec Racing drivers we spoke to there. It'd be nice to speak to other drivers from the other teams as well, but I don't think we've got any more interviews lined up. I know Lewis Mason's sitting in the interview waiting room there, and if you are listening, Lewis, I'm not dragging you in because you're streaming a live feed on this, so I'm not going to drag you in for that reason. But yeah, we spoke to 2 drivers there who had very highlighted races there, right in the thick of the battle there. But for the moment, that is the majority of our interviews. Let's have a recap of the results while we wait for any more potential interviews. Let's go to the golds again first. So we'll read through the top fives of each category. Harry Langford, first position in gold category by some margin. Gavin Gardner, second position from William Guthrie in second. Stephan Wessels in fourth position. And Matt Cheverton, who we just spoke to, in fifth. Silver category now. Alan McCain swipes the win away at the final moments in that race. From Paul Williams in second position, 26 thousandths of a second separate them two. Stein Vatens third position from Matthew Addy in fourth and Nigel Stock fifth. In the bronze category, it is a win at the moment for Gabriel Papaconstantino by 8 seconds from Lewis Mason and Josh Downing in third position. Andrew Rooney, best result of the season in fourth position with Andrew Allen in fifth position. And we'll go to the championship standings. As we mentioned, and leading the gold category out of tonight is Harry Langford with most points scored, tied most points scored after tonight. Stephan Wessels second position from Benji McCluskey in third and William Guthrie just on the fringes of that battle in fourth. Silver category, Jeffrey Kruger leads the championship by 4 points from Wojciech Kerp. Matthew Addy, super consistent season so far, is third. Bronze category, Papaconstantino leads by 8 points from Josh Downing in second position and Andrew Allen in third. And in the teams, it's Type 2 Racing Mords in the lead by 6 points from CSA, 1 point ahead of Full Tilt V Motorsport, and they're 1 point ahead of Type 2 Racing Wolf. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching tonight's Round 2 at Interlagos. Next week, we are heading back north to the Wisconsin state. We're going to be racing in Road America. It's going to be the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. So the way that's going to work is there's going to be no qualifying. As soon as we end practice, we're going to grid up for the race and we're going to go racing for 2 hours for an endurance race. The championship standings will decide the grid. It will be each category and reversed. So be sure to tune in for that at NXTGEN Racing on YouTube and Facebook from 7:40 PM UK time. Here on YouTube and Facebook, as we mentioned. But for now, this has been the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 9 from Interlagos. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator. A big thank you to NXTGEN Racing for putting on the league, and a big thank you to the partners, sponsors and affiliates of NXTGEN Racing who help put on the show, and they include PowerMax Racing, Mark Slice Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design and Falconer PC. You've been watching the NXTGEN Racing GT3s. This has been the dramatic and exciting Round 2 at Interlagos. We'll see you next week at Road America. Thank you for watching and good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.